Judge, I was contacted by FWC and advised that there are a number of media people at the site where we're going to view the vessel. What they wanted to know is, would Your Honor give them a directive to advise the media that they'll be happy to open the doors up for the media to look at the vessel after the jury view, but they want to make sure that the jurors are not, photographed or videotaped. And so I said, let me double check with the judge. I think she will give a directive through me that I can convey to them so that they can in turn say to the jury, this is what the judge wants.
That directive should have already been given.
Okay.
Because it's been in the works for a week, and I sent out, there's media rules that they have to follow. But I'm going to make contact with Eunice right now, Eunice Sigler.
Your Honor, I was speaking with Eunice last night, and she sent out an email either late last night or this morning to all the media outlets, giving them specific directives as to this trip is no different than any other court proceeding, and the decorum and the rules are applicable there as they are here. That they're not to contact any of the try to make contact with any jurors. There's no statements. There's no interviews. This is purely.
You're going to be very insulated.
Yeah.
Because the way it's set up is there's a gate, it's a lock gate, and from my instructions, they're not permitted past that lock gate.
No. Yeah. According to FWC,
once the gate is open, only the small group are going to be permitted to actually drive through the gate. And it's got a quarter mile. It's like it's actually paved. And then I guess you go, what happens after that is you go down another road to get to a clear area where the boat is. I didn't do that part though. I suspect that that's how it's set up. But no one's coming past that gate, but the people in the caravan of vehicles are going. That's it. That was the directive. And so I'm not going to be able to see jurors getting in and out of that van as far as I understand.
And according to the FWC, the boat is nowhere near.
It's not.
It's not.
Because I couldn't see it
Yeah.
when I pulled up, so it's not there. No one's getting to the gate. The jurors and us. That's it. Okay. So.
I assume there'll be no drones.
No. There's not going to be any. We did this years ago. There was helicopters. We're not doing that. I told them we're not doing that. If I see it.
It was reiterated in the email yesterday that what they're allowed is one pole camera, one still photography camera.
Yeah, no, I mean after the fact, I don't have any issues with media. They want access to take any more pictures, and there's a lot of pictures anyway. What else do you want to take? But that's it. This is a courtroom. This is the courtroom moving to that location. And as soon as I get the jurors in there, I'm going to give them instructions and we'll understand this. We're not going to be anywhere near the jurors either. We're going to be able to communicate with them. They're going to get all their instructions from me right now.
Will the jurors be able to observe any of us?
Yes, they will be able to observe us. We're going to be at a distance. I guess they'll have an area where there'll be maybe a couple of seats for us just to sit while they go about their business. And I'll set a time limit on it and figure out what I have to do to get there. And I'll let Renee know, and I'll advise the jury. It's probably about 30 minutes. I think that should be a sufficient period of time.
Any shade where we're going to be sitting, Judge?
That I don't know. But
Bring an
do you
umbrella?
have your umbrella?
I did.
Okay, you bring an umbrella, you can hold an umbrella.
Are you going to wear your robe?
I have to, I think.
Wow.
So I can get it comfortable, but very hot. It's really hot out right now. So it's going to be really hot.
Judge, may I inquire
So,
who among us is going? I assume the two prosecutors, and that's it for the prosecution team? It'll just be me, myself? And I thought you'd asked yesterday about what to explain to the jury, and I thought just to say that because it's call it a field trip, it's going to be a limited number of people going, Mr. Srebnick, Ms. Adams, Mr. Borscht, and that's it. That way they don't highlight.
That anyone else is not there.
Right, so Mr. Pino won't be there, Mr. Shapiro won't be there, there's a whole bunch of people not going, and it'll just make Mr. Pino be invisible.
It's very restricted, and the purpose is basically just for the jury to see the vessel, have an opportunity to spend a little time walking there. They'll be able to take notes. They can't speak with each other. They can't speak to anyone else. Now, there'll be directions. For example, if someone wanted to enter the boat, as we were talking about yesterday, there'll be, I think the FWC, a few of the investigators, or I don't know if it's just going to be Thompson, I think, right? I'm not sure who's going to be there. He has probably a few people there that would assist them if they wanted to, lift up and actually look inside.
Are we ready?
I think we are.
Yes.
All right, let's go to the next thing.
All right.
All right, everyone be seated. Thank you, just a moment. Sorry.
Good morning.
How are you all doing today? Is it you or in your presence about this case?
No.
Have you done any research or investigation?
No.
See anything in the news about the case?
No.
Read anything in the newspaper?
No.
Television?
No.
Social media?
No.
Okay. So we're recreating, you cannot bring the vessel here to put it in front of you as evidence. So we're taking you to that to be the evidence. But we're conducting a court, but at another location. Now, when you're conducting court, I'm going to give you some instructions, and Renee is going to assist everyone, but just like any court, even not in the courtroom, the purpose of this is for you, again, to just view the evidence. You have your notepads with you. You took extra pens in case anyone's pen. Opportunity to walk around. I'll set probably for, again, you, each one of you. It's not a group. Or whatever information you think might be helpful to you. And you're committed to take notes. Okay. You're going to speak with Renee, not in front of any of the other jurors, just like you would anyway. Okay? But you're not there for any other purpose other than to be able to see the evidence. Okay? there's not going to be anyone's going to speak with you. We're going to be, and it's going to be actually just a limited number of people going, because this is for you to go. I need to be there. I'm going to bring Vanessa, the court reporter. Okay. For the defense, Mr. Shrebnick is going to be the representative for the defense, and prosecutors too. And that's it. Okay. Don't. It needs to be limited, so I've restricted that. So because other people aren't attending, or because Mr. Pino's not attending, please don't draw any inferences from that. We need to keep this as a very small group. I think that's pretty much it. There'll be individuals from Florida, from the Wildlife Commission. They're going to be there. I think they're going to have the ability to assist if anyone wishes to actually get into the vessel. There'll be a way to do that. I don't know if they use a ramp. I'm not sure what the setup is, but I believe those arrangements have been made for you if you wish to actually go inside the vessel too. So you're not to touch anything, okay? For your information and for your ability to view the evidence. So I think 30 minutes will probably be more than enough time. I'm not sure if it's shaded at all. So I think 30 minutes will be more than enough time for you to have that opportunity. Okay, we're going to take you now downstairs. You're going to be escorted, and then he's going to take you. We have a van that is, I think it's a 14-person van.
Yes, sir.
And our sergeant here is going to be the driver of the van. And you're going to be escorted with police escort. So, and we're going to be caravanning. There'll be only, I think, 3 other vehicles within the escorted group. And probably will take about 35 to 40 minutes to arrive at the location. I'll have some ice water for you in the van as well. And if you had, I don't think you're going to need an umbrella unless you think you want it for some shade. I'm not sure again if the shade, I imagine there's some shade area, but I'm not sure if the boat is a very shady area. I'm just not sure about that. Okay? So, Renee, you can go ahead then, you will take the jury. Just going to give them a minute, because I'm going to want to go down Judge's elevator also, so I just want to give them a minute to get down the elevator. If you all now want to go ahead and get to your vehicles, and we're in the building, then we should be able to head out probably about 10-15 minutes.
And the afternoon session is at 1:30 p.m.?
I set it for 1:30 p.m. I think that we'll probably be pretty good with that.
Okay.
All right? Okay, very good. Thank you. Recess. customary session, City of Florida versus George Pino. Unless the parties please to announce.
Good afternoon, Laura Adams, Jonathan Borst on behalf of the state of Florida.
On behalf of George Pino, who is present, Howard Serebnik, Mark Shapiro, Eva Marino, and Janelle Gomez.
Oh, very well. And Ms. Pino, would you take me to swear, please?
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You may have a seat, sir.
Thank you.
Oh, very well, thank you. All right. So, I'm checking with Renee, I think all the jurors are back from lunch. Just as a recap, we conducted a jury review.
Having trouble hearing you, Judge.
Okay, how's that?
Better, thank you.
I don't know, I asked for a longer microphone, and I got a really long microphone, but... All right. Is that better?
A little bit.
Okay. Well, we went on a jury review. The jurors arrived by van at 10:35, and we departed at 10:52. I think everything, there were no issues. There were one matter we did put on the record while we were there, and that was with regard to allowing
Lieutenant Thompson?
Lieutenant Thompson to point out and just stand and point to two specific areas on the vessel that had green marking. And that was done, again, we discussed it first, Esther was with us, we put it on the record without objection. There were no statements made, no comments made, no testimony, and then the jurors went about their business without discussions. So, I'm double checking, I haven't heard back from Renee. Let me ask, is there anything I need to address before I bring the jury in?
We don't know who the witnesses are yet.
Oh, okay. Who's your first witness for the afternoon?
It's Pomaris, Judge, Manny Pomaris from FWC.
Is he the only one today? Are there other?
I don't know who was calling.
Lieutenant Kumaris from FWC.
FWC,
Okay.
FWC, Judge, yes.
All right.
Until I see it, I see them flash.
You double check? Thank you.
You know who that's? May we inquire if there's another witness after Pomaris, or will he take up the whole day so we can flag any issues?
No, I think that we'll call another witness after the lieutenant.
How long will this first witness be, you think?
Not sure, Judge.
A bit of time?
It's
How long do you anticipate the direct to be, each other?
I would say maybe an hour and a half.
Okay, we'll be a while, we'll take a break anyway. If there's anything else, then we'll discuss the next witness, okay? I expect to work though till about 5:30.
And I've showed the defense all of the photos that I intend to introduce through this witness, and I don't believe that they have any objection regarding 403 or anything like that to what I'm intending to introduce.
That's not what I said, Judge. I said these were provided in discovery.
Oh, I thought you said you have no objection. You do have objections?
We previously there were.
Was it one of those photos, the alcohol?
No.
I didn't see that.
Okay.
There,
One moment.
there is.
We'll just go, you know what, when it's time to present the evidence, if you have an objection, you'll make your objection.
Okay.
And I'll
Start with this folder. Sure. Thank you.
Can you say it one more time, please?
It's okay. I'll just go through the witness. I thought maybe there would be a stipulation, but
Well, there might be. They asked you to let it go.
I'll just have the witness authenticated and show it to them in real time, Judge. Unless, you know,
All good.
I tried to do that, but they didn't want to. So
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
okay, okay, we can do that. Yeah. So it'll, yeah, just mark it. The only one that doesn't have a folder is this one right here.
Please be seated. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Hope you had a good lunch. Let me ask, have you been discussing this case with each other?
No.
Or with anyone else?
No.
Has anyone attempted to speak with you or in your presence about this case?
No.
Have you seen anything in the news about this case?
No.
You're not looking for it, am I correct?
Correct.
You've done any research or investigation to gather information outside of this courtroom?
No.
Very well. We are ready to proceed. State and call the next witness.
Yes, Judge, the state calls Manuel Pomares.
Sir, please step forward, face the clerk, raise your right hand to be sworn.
Do you solemnly swear from the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
You may have a seat, sir.
Sir, if you keep your voice up, the microphone is in one direction and the jury is in another. So even if you're yelling on each side of this, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
May I proceed, Judge?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Can you please introduce yourself to the members of our jury?
My name is Manuel Pomares. I'm a lieutenant with Florida Fish and Wildlife.
Florida Fish and Wildlife, did you all just host some guests today?
Yes, we did.
Did you see some of them here in the courtroom?
Yes, I do.
Was that to see a vessel, a crashed vessel?
Correct.
The vessel, were you part of the recovery?
I was part of the recovery of the vessel.
So let's talk about how that happened and the information that you have. Were you working on the day of the crash, September 4th, 2022?
I was not working that day when the event occurred. I was notified afterwards.
How did you learn about the crash?
I believe I was called either to my personal phone or my work phone, notified, and then I would have come out shortly after that on the clock and responding to phone calls and trying to gather information and see what needed to be done at that point.
Where did you respond?
Initially, I was just on the phone gathering information because I didn't know where to go until more information started coming in. The location of the accident was Cutter Bank, which is a remote area that even if I left right away, I wouldn't have been able to go to. So it was more beneficial for me to get additional information and see what was needed before I left and responded somewhere.
So where did you drive to?
Initially, I just stayed at the house making phone calls, coordinating. Eventually, I ended up, I believe I went to Walmart and bought water, and I believe one of my counterparts bought food because at that point in the evening, we had to keep officers keeping watch on the vessel because the vessel was overturned in Cutter Bank, adjacent marker 15, and we knew we weren't going to be able to recover it that day, so we needed to maintain custody of the vessel and have somebody watching it overnight, so we had to make arrangements.
Okay, let me stop.
Sorry.
We're going to go slow. You're talking fast, but we're going to go slow, okay?
Got it.
All right, so you go to Walmart.
Correct.
Why did you go to Walmart? For supplies?
Went to Walmart to get supplies, water and drinks for our officers.
And then after you get the waters and drinks and food, do you go to Black Point Marina, or where do you go to?
We responded to Black Point Marina, and I arrived there as the fireboat was arriving with victims that had not been transported because they weren't as severely injured as the ones that had been airlifted.
Okay, so at this point, it's dark outside, it's nighttime?
That is correct.
Okay. Now, as a lieutenant, can you tell me what your responsibilities are?
Okay. I'm an investigative lieutenant. I was an investigative lieutenant at that time, and part of my responsibilities are to provide the investigator, the lead investigator, with any assets he may need, assist him in any way that I can. Due to the remote area, the accident happened in southern Miami-Dade, almost northern Monroe County. So me getting there wasn't practical. I wasn't going to make it there in any time to be of use to my team.
Now, the lead investigator in this case, Lieutenant Thompson, at the time he wasn't a lieutenant, did you oversee him, or is that a different lieutenant?
He was supervised by a different lieutenant. His name is Lieutenant Daniel Miranda. On that evening, I believe Lieutenant Miranda was not available for one reason or another, and I was the one who initially responded that evening and helped out and supported Investigator Thompson.
Okay. So you mentioned that you saw some of the less injured passengers. Did you specifically interact with them at Black Point Marina?
No, I did not.
Okay.
They were coming off the vessels, going to their family members, and I did not impede in that or stop or take any action in that aspect.
So the next day, September 5th, what are your duties? What are your assignments on that day?
So I was also part of the dive team. So part of our duties was to document the scene or the crash site. We had come up with a game plan to respond out there on one of our patrol vessels. 3 members of the dive team, I believe it was Officer Oscar Saavedra, Lieutenant Ryan Smith, and myself were dive team members. And there was an officer, I don't recall at this point, that was driving the vessel, shuttling us around.
All right, so how do you become part of the dive team? Do you have to be trained and certified?
You have to have certification first, and then you have to go through an interview process and be selected.
Did you receive all of the necessary training and certifications to become part of the dive team?
Yes.
And just as an aside, how long have you been with the Florida Fish and Wildlife?
I'm in my 29th year. Formerly, the agency was called Florida Marine Patrol. In 1999, 2000, the voters of Florida decided to merge the Florida Marine Patrol with the Game and Fish Commission, and now we are the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, FWC for short.
So do you have a long or many years of experience diving?
Yes.
So in preparation for a dive, I imagine, do you have to put on a suit? Or what do you wear? In this
case, we didn't have to put on a suit because there wasn't contaminants. We had to put on dive gear, which is a BC, a dive tank, regulators. So all that had to be loaded on the boat because obviously it was far away from the mainland.
So let's break that down. Can you explain what that equipment that you just referred to is and how it assists you?
Absolutely. So it's scuba gear, self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. So it's basically a BCD, a buoyancy control device that inflates to help you control buoyancy. Okay. You need to put that on. Behind that holds a dive tank, which has your air supply. And then you have regulators that bring the pressure down from what's in the tank to something you can actually breathe, to be able to breathe underwater. So.
And do you have to regularly receive additional training, either yearly or anything like that?
Yes, we typically try to do it monthly at minimum. Sometimes we don't because there's call-outs and other situations where we dive more often than that, so it all depends on what is occurring in the field.
So where do you leave to do the dive? Where do you leave from?
I believe we left from Coconut Grove and loaded on my patrol vessel in Coconut Grove and responded from there.
And, we've heard testimony about Cutter Bank. Did you know where in Cutter Bank the wrecked vessel was?
Yes.
And I think earlier you mentioned that FWC, did they make arrangements for there to be somebody who had eyes on the wrecked vessel from the time they learned of it to the time you got there?
Correct.
And why was that important to sort of have a babysitter for the crashed boat?
It's important to maintain chain of custody and make sure nobody messed with the vessel or took anything from the vessel. It could have also been a navigation hazard. People that navigate that area might not know it was there, especially at dark, and somebody could have run into it.
So was that a priority for FWC to make sure that happened?
Absolutely.
Okay. So when you arrive at the area of the crash site, what do you see?
There's an FWC vessel. There's also Miami-Dade vessels because Miami-Dade was assisting us with their dive team to facilitate being more efficient.
And is that common that Miami-Dade would assist FWC in a dive like this?
Yes, multi-agencies come together to help in situations like this, whether it's a crash or a significant event. We often work together.
Okay. So had you been to Cutter Bank before?
Yes, I've patrolled Cutter Bank before.
All right. And I know the jury has heard this description a few times, but can you just briefly describe what Cutter Bank looks like and the markings?
So Cutter Bank is a narrow channel. I describe it best as a funnel. If you're looking at Biscayne Bay is very wide north of that point, so the channel markers are spread apart and you have deeper water. So navigation north of Cutter Bank is more lax, if I could describe it that way. You're not as worried about running aground or having to go exactly in the markers. When you get to Cutter Bank, if you think of it as a funnel, you've got to go through this corridor where you have flats, very shallow water on both sides. So you really have to pay attention when you're going down or through Cutter Bank.
So you mentioned earlier that as part of the dive, there was going to be an effort to recover items underwater?
Correct.
Did you also document the scene with photographs?
Yes.
All right. And did you document the area of the boat crash as well as the nearby channel marker?
Yes.
Was there a Dayglow 15 marker at the top of the pillar when you got there?
No, the day boards, which would have been number 15, it's a green square, and there should have been 2 of them on the top of the marker so that if you're navigating from north to south, you could see one, and it tells you the east side of the channel. And then if you're navigating from south to north, you would see the opposite one as you're traveling northbound, and it'll let you know the east side of the channel.
Okay. I'm showing the defense 2N and 2Z for identification, if they could take a look. Okay, sir, I'm going to be showing you some photos. I'll kind of pass through them, take a look, and when I'm done, let me know if they fairly and accurately reflect what you saw when you arrived that morning, okay? Do they?
Yes, and I arrived, I believe, around noon or shortly after noon, just to clarify.
Your Honor, I ask that 2N through 2Z be introduced into evidence.
No objection.
Thank you.
State Exhibit 2N, previously marked for identification, will become State Exhibit number 25.
I'm sorry, can you see?
2N will become State Exhibit number 25.
Thank you.
You're welcome. 2O, 26. 2P, 27. 2Q, 28. 2R, 29. 2S, 30. 2T, 31. 2U, 32. 2V, 33. 2W, 34. 2X, 35. 2Y, 36. And 2Z, 37.
Thank you, Madam. May I approach the witness, Judge? All right, Lieutenant, I'm just going to show you these in groups so So I'm going to show you 25, 26, 27, and 28. Do these all show the perspective that you had of the capsized boat in relation to the pylon?
Yes, they do.
And are these photos, were they taken by you yourself?
Yes.
All right, may I publish these, Judge?
Yes.
And do these photos just offer different perspectives on the scene?
That's my question?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the perspective, looking from the marker in a southeasterly direction. You could see what would be Key Largo and Pumpkin Key in the background, in the horizon.
Are you able to approximate the distance of the capsized boat to the pylon?
It was several hundred yards. I don't remember the exact, if we have an exact distance. I believe on one of the images, there could possibly be a distance on a Google Earth image.
All right, and now I'm also showing you states 29 through 37. Are these various perspectives of the piling?
Yes,
And what is this made of?
the piling is a steel pipe. If you can picture a telephone pole, except instead of wood, it's steel. It's a pipe and it's hollow in the center.
Does this go all the way to the seafloor?
Yes, that's hammered into the bottom, and that's what keeps it erect. Part of it is under the ground. Then you got what's not visible, that's below the water to the ground, and then you have what remains above the water line.
And who installs these?
That would have been probably Coast Guard, because it's a intercoastal waterway channel marker.
There's sort of like a whiteness at the top of it. What is that?
That is the feces of birds, water birds that land on the top of the
You
marker.
could say bird poop if you want.
I was trying to be more professional, but that is the birds land on there. They go to the bathroom, and it ends up making those marks on the piling.
And I should ask you, what is supposed to be on top of this?
On top of that, if you look at may I look at them?
Yeah.
If you look at the markers, you'll see there's like a rectangle in the middle of the feces, and that would be where there would be a day board flush against one side of the piling. And then if you look from the south coming north, you would see the same thing. The best I could describe it is a rectangle where there's no feces, and that's where the day board would be. That's why there's no feces there.
So basically,
So there's no white.
there's going to be a day board on one side, a day board on the other side, and the pylon in the middle.
Correct.
And how are the day boards connected to this?
There's bolts and brackets that basically, the day board is made out of wood, and in this case, because it's a green, it's a square, and they're bolted to each other, kind of sandwiching the two boards to the piling.
All right. May I publish some of these, Judge?
Yes.
All right. And there's a variety of perspectives. The day board markers, what are they made of?
They're typically made of plywood, and they have some kind of laminate adhesive sticker on the face of it that faces out from the marker. And it's typically has some kind of reflective material, so that and when vessels navigating at night, the operator could see the markers and make it easier for them to identify the markers ahead.
What are the dimensions of the placard on? What are the dimensions?
I contacted Coast Guard, and they advised me it would be 3 by 3 feet by 3 feet. And I brought a piece of cardboard.
Wait.
Oh,
I'm showing you the defense what's marked for identification 3A through 3H. May I approach, Judge? And Lieutenant, I'm going to show you what's marked for identification 3A to 3H. Let me pass through them. And when I'm done, tell me if they fairly and accurately depict what you saw on this day. Okay, do they?
Yes, they do.
Judge, I'd ask that 3A through 3H be admitted into evidence.
State Exhibit 3A, previously marked for identification, will become State Exhibit number 38. 3B, 39. 3C, 40. 3D, 41. 3E, 42. 3F, 43. 3G, 44, and 3H, 45.
Thank you. All right, so Lieutenant, I'm going to ask, with the court's permission, if you could step down and help me publish some of these photos with the jury. What are we looking at in this photo? If you could just hold it up for the jury.
This is an image that I took. This is the vessel upside down. It's sitting on the bay bottom. It's a shot of water. The treetops, which will be the roof, is actually on the bottom. So it's sitting there. It's not floating. It's sitting on the bottom. The grass, it's difficult to see, but you can see it's a grassy bottom. So it's just sitting like it was sitting on somebody's front lawn upside down.
Thank you. Right there. I'm showing you what is a 40. Does this show damage to the vessel?
Yes, it does.
Okay, can you show yours? And now, that damage, what material is that?
This is fiberglass, which is and gel coat and paint that make up the hull or the underneath and side of the vessel. In this case, it's a little bottle. The manufacturer is the main, it's saying Ford and Nissan. Volvo is the manufacturer of the vessel.
You could have a seat. I'm just going to publish them. All right, so we've gone over the documentation of the pylon, the capsized vessel. Do you then dive underwater to document the underwater scene?
Yes, I do.
So take me through that. What do you do? How do you go about doing this type of a dive?
So the divers were on this day were Lieutenant Smith and I, and then we always leave a diver on the surface in case there's any kind of emergency. That person can immediately get in the water and render aid to if there's an entanglement or air issue or some kind of emergency, unforeseen event. That officer is on the vessel paying attention to us, that diver, ready to go and enter the water if he needs us, if we need him.
Okay, and Do you each take turns just diving right in?
No, we go in together, always go in 2 people minimum for safety. And then on that particular day, I was recording and taking pictures with a GoPro camera, underwater and above the water.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the GoPro camera. Is that something you're holding, or is it on your person? How does that work?
It's a small camera that's in an underwater case, so it can be taken underwater, and I'm holding it. Prior to doing anything, I went around the vessel to get a 360 to see what was done or what was there before anything was touched. And I believe we did a second loop around the vessel to document everything before we touched any of the items that were on the vessel or around the vessel.
Now, when you went down to video record, do you do a 360 around the boat?
Yes.
And just before court started, were we watching videos of your recordings? Of the video recording?
Yes, correct.
Okay. And did they fairly and accurately reflect the video recordings on the date that we're talking about?
Yes.
All
It
right.
would have been the day after the accident. The accident was September 4th. This would have been the following day on September 5th.
And I'm showing the defense. Oh, I'm sorry, Katie. Would you mind marking this? Showing defense 4R. Lieutenant, as I mentioned, we watched the video on this flash drive earlier today, and it fairly and accurately depicted the recording that you did.
I would assume that that's the recording device that it was on.
That I just played for you.
Yes.
Okay. Judge, I asked that 4R be admitted.
No objection.
State Exhibit 4R, previously marked identification, will become State Exhibit number 46.
Judge, may I publish States 46? And with the court's permission, Lieutenant, can you assist me with this?
Yes.
Do we have the court?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Thank you.
so Lieutenant, I'm gonna sit. Can you stand right next to the screen? Yes, sir. All right. Stand. So the first file for the record is GOPR 1521. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video here. What are, actually it's kind of hard to see. Let me keep it on. So, I don't know if it's a little bit hard to see on this screen, but what would you call this resting at the bottom?
This is the side of the center console or the T-top. The T-top would be the roof portion. The center console is the fiberglass cube with the steering and the screens are.
And so this T-top, is this where the captain of the vessel would be when they're operating?
It would be behind it, behind the steering wheel. It's hard to tell exactly what direction that
All right.
at the vessel upside down, this should be the starboard side. You can see the damage, which is all on the starboard side.
And right at the end of the video, I'm just going to go back to So what is that we're looking at the back? This right here?
That is actually at the bow, that's the anchor at the very front of the vessel. I've done a 360 degree, I've gone over around the vessel and back at the front where I started.
Okay, so this is the front of the vessel.
Correct.
All right, keep standing, please. Now, GOPR 1522, I'm going to publish that for the record. Are you able to tell what that is right there? And I'm pointing at the bottom of the screen.
This is a compartment that's on the side, a panel that's been dislodged due to the damage. It's in front of what is the console here. Since it's upside down, it will be on the side based on the angle I'm taking the picture of.
Okay.
The video of.
So is this video sort of a closer perspective than the last video?
Correct. This one's more trying to get closer into the vessel. The other one was like further from the vessel itself.
So right here, what are we looking at? It's hard to kind of see on the screen, but
Yeah. Again, the vessel's upside down. You're going to see the top, which is the T-top here, the underside of it, because the part that's normally up to the sky is sitting on the bay bottom, and there you may have some grass where it's sitting on the grass.
are you able to tell what area we're looking at here?
That's the helm area where the steering wheel would be, if you're going to get up right here. And then this is the console where all the electronics will be. Here's the seat in the leaning post area, or the backrest of the seat. The windshield's up here.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Have a seat, please. All right, so you mentioned earlier that some underwater photographs were also taken, correct?
Correct.
So I'm showing the defense has been marked 3I through 3R for identification purposes. Okay, may I approach, Judge?
Yes,
3I through 3R. I'm going to go through them with you. Please take a look, and then when I'm finished, I'm going to ask whether or not they fairly and accurately depict what you saw underneath the water when you were diving. Did they?
Yes, they do.
Judge, I'd ask that 3I through 3R be admitted.
State Exhibit 3I, previously marked for identification, will become State Exhibit number 47. 3J, 48. 3K, 49. 3L, 50. 3M, 51. 3N, 52. 3O, 53. 3P, 54. 3Q, 55. And 3R, 56.
Clerk. And Judge, same request if the witness can assist me in publishing.
yes.
Thank you.
All right, so Lieutenant, these may actually be a little bit more visible than the video. Can we just go one by one and you sort of show the jury what are depicted in these photos?
Yes. In this image, you can see the T-top on the bottom of the bay. You can see the grass. Again, you're looking at the underneath. What's on the grass would normally be facing the sky. You can see a telephone right here, which is underneath of the T-top. This is the front windshield. We got a side windshield here and a side windshield here. You see the top of it would be the console and the compass there. So that's pretty much the boat upside down from front to back.
Now, how about in states 48? What are we looking at here?
So again, this is the helm area. So now you're looking from what would be the seating or operating position. You got the steering wheel, you've got the throttles, which will control with your hands. You've got 2 GPS units right here. They're hard to see because they're dark right now. All the switches on the console. Again, the front windshield, side windshield, side windshield from this side. And that's the panel that I was asked about before that had become dislodged, held in place by wiring. You can see these are battery switches, but obviously it's not in its normal position, it's just been dislodged.
Now, this is states 49. What are we looking at here?
This is again the front of the console. You can see the front seat here. This is the seating area. This is the backrest. You can see the port side, which is not damaged. You can see light coming in through the starboard side due to the damage to the vessel. Again, the front windshield, side windshield. That's pretty much.
Okay, and you could have a seat, Lieutenant. I'll finish publishing the rest of these. So because the boat is upside down, Lieutenant, I guess a better way to see everything as what it really is to kind of like flip the picture.
Correct. it would make it easier to see what you're looking at, but it's just turning the vessel upside down.
Now, when you're diving and recording the scene, are you simultaneously collecting things?
We wanted to document everything first, so the video is before anything was touched, both videos.
So after the scene is documented, do you then enter into, I guess, what we can call maybe recovery mode or something like that?
That is correct.
How do you and your partners collect evidence from the bottom of the ocean floor or the bay floor?
Fortunately, it wasn't very deep, maybe 6-7 feet, and we were able to grab stuff and then hand it up to the officer and the other diver that remained on the surface.
If you're a tall guy, how tall are you?
6'2".
Okay, if you stood on the floor of the bay, do you think you'd...
I don't think I could have been out of the water.
Okay. So, who assisted you in recovering evidence?
Lieutenant Smith was the other diver, so either him or I would have grabbed whatever we recovered from around the vessel and underneath the vessel and handed it up to the remaining personnel on our FWC patrol vessel.
So are all of you sort of working together as a group?
We were as one group focused on the vessel. Then to make things simple, Miami-Dade's dive team was focused on the area of the channel marker and any evidence that was located in that vicinity.
How many times would you say, and you could estimate, how many times would you say that you dove down to the ship and started getting evidence? Was it like 10 times?
It's hard to say because we're on tanks. I might have been handing stuff to Lieutenant Smith and he was giving it back. You know, we try to do it in a systematic manner and work our way around the vessel so we don't miss something. So it's not free diving where we're constantly going up and down. It's grab as much as you can, maybe get a couple handfuls, and then when we feel we need to stop, you know, I would stay where we were left off. He would hand stuff up, and then once he came back, we'd continue around the vessel.
Are you like collecting these items with your hands, or do you have a net? What does that look like?
I think it was mainly with our hands, depending on what we're diving for. In this case, I believe it was our hands. Maybe we had gloves on. I don't recall.
And then when items of evidence were recovered, what would you do with them?
We would hand them up to the officers or personnel on the vessel, and they would put them in the vessel.
Does FWC maintain custody of recovered evidence from the time it's grabbed by a diver to essentially today?
Yes.
And are records kept to make sure that there is what we call like a chain of custody from point A to point Z here in the courtroom?
Yes, property receipts, and every time they are handed off to the next person, it's logged.
So do you do anything else out on the water regarding evidence collection, setting aside the boat itself for right now?
I believe once we recovered everything we could from the vessel, I believe we got together with Miami-Dade's team who had recovered several pieces of evidence from around the marker. They gave it to us, we placed it on our vessel. We brought everything into, if I remember correctly, Convoy Point, which is a channel that you access by coming in through Homestead Bayfront Channel. Convoy Point is what is known as Biscayne National Park. It's their headquarters where their law enforcement docks. So it's a secured facility. We went there to unload everything that we had recovered, to give it to one of the officers to relay to our office.
And the items of evidence that were collected during the dive, do you also photograph them?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so I'm showing the defense what has been marked for identification purposes as 4I through 4Q.
There's no additional objections, just preserving a prior objection we did.
All right, so this is 4I through 4Q, Lieutenant. I'm going to scroll through just like I did before. And when I'm finished, can you just let me know if it fairly and accurately reflects the items of evidence that you and your partners collected on September 5th, 2022? Does it?
Yes, they do. Again, some of them were collected by Miami-Dade, and some of them were collected by us on the vessel, or underneath the vessel.
Judge, I'd ask that all of these items 4I through 4Q be admitted into evidence, please.
State Exhibit 4I, previously marked for identification, will become State Exhibit number 57. 4J, 58. 4K, 59. 4L, 60. 4M, 61. 4N, 62. 4O, 63. 4P, 64. And 4Q, 65.
May I proceed with this, Judge? So, Lieutenant, I'm showing you first States 57 as well as States 58. Are these sort of overviews of all of the items that were collected?
These are the overview of the items collected from the vessel and surrounding areas of the vessel.
Okay. And actually, before I ask to publish, what are some of the items that were collected and are documented in this photo?
Starting from left, there's some clothing. There's 8 phones, a pair of glasses, miscellaneous. There's a couple pairs of glasses. There's miscellaneous fiberglass pieces from the vessel. Looks like a portion of a hatch belonging to the vessel. Looks like some kind of a fabric cooler, the fire extinguisher, miscellaneous clothing, another canvas type bag. There's a couple of Yeti type tumbler cups, and a couple of Trulies and a Bud Light can.
Did you say Yeti type tumbler?
Yes.
Okay. May I publish that, Judge? Yes. And where were these recovered from?
They were either underneath the vessel or around the vessel.
We're going to look at some close-ups in a moment. You mentioned cell phones and glasses. I'm showing you what is marked States 60, 59, and 61. Are these the cell phone and glasses?
It would have been, these are the ones we recovered. I believe these were around the marker by Miami-Dade. If you see these images, you got these 8. So this is the stuff that we recovered from the vessel. This group of items would have been recovered by Miami-Dade divers around the marker.
So yeah, I'm getting ahead of you actually, Lieutenant, so let me slow down. So let's do 59 and 60 then. You're saying that these cell phones were cell phones recovered around or in the Pino boat?
Correct.
And that was recovered by FWC?
Correct.
Okay, may I publish that, Judge? I think there are 8. And so moving on to what I was getting ahead of you on, in states 61, 62, and 63, Are these the cell phones that you said were provided to you by the Miami-Dade diving team, and then you took custody of them?
That is correct. And in this image, you have, again, a tumbler type Yeti style stainless cup, 4 pairs of sunglasses. They've recovered a couple gold colored earrings and 3 cell phones.
Okay. May I publish them, Judge?
Yes.
And these were by the marker, did you say?
Correct.
Were there also some IDs in one of the phones?
Several of the phones we were able to identify because they either had little pockets or between the phone and their cases, they had identifications on them.
Okay. Now I'm showing you what's in evidence as State 64 as well as State 65. What do these photos depict?
These photos depict pieces of fiberglass, pieces of the hull of the vessel damaged in the impact that were on the bay bottom. Again, recovered by Miami-Dade divers. You also have a portion of a day placard that was with a bolt that is what kept it on the bottom. Since the placard is made of wood, it would have floated away if it wasn't for that bolt.
We're going to go back to that. Before we go back to the marker with the bolt, where was this located? Was it around the boat itself?
I believe this was all around the marker.
Okay, the marker.
The marker, correct.
All right, may I publish that, Judge?
Yes.
Okay, so the piece of the green marker that's in this photo, did you bring that with you to court today?
I did.
Lieutenant, I'm showing you what's now marked for identification as 4S. Can you please take a look at it? Can you first describe the packaging of this item of evidence?
So this is a clear packaging that was packaged at our office so that I could bring and have it labeled of the recovered portion of the day marker, which would have been marker 15 from Cutter Bank.
So after recovery, where has this object been the entire time?
This, once we got everything to the office, and the boat was, we were done processing the boat, getting evidence from the boat, all the items and everything were put into the boat, and the boat was shrink wrapped.
Shrink wrapped.
Correct.
Why was the entire boat shrink wrapped?
To preserve the evidence as best as possible.
Now, today the boat wasn't shrink wrapped. When did the boat become unshrink wrapped or opened up?
I don't remember the exact date, but I believe the attorneys needed to go see it. They wanted experts to look at the vessel, and through the court processes, it was ordered to be removed, and at some point it was removed, and once you remove it, we can't put it back because that's something that has to be applied with heat, and once you take it off, very difficult, almost impossible to put back on.
So just to break that down, are you saying that the state and the defense inspected the boat immediately after the shrink wrap was removed, and now the way the juror saw it is after the shrink wrap was removed?
Correct. We also saw it without any of the items that were in it. We were asked to remove any items that were in the vessel, so they wouldn't have seen that.
And that could have been hazardous if they fell on.
Correct. And itchy and uncomfortable because it's fiberglass.
Your Honor, I would ask that 4S be admitted into evidence.
Just see it.
Oh, sure. So, I'm sorry for interrupting you.
That's okay.
I would be asking that this be admitted into evidence, Judge. No objection.
State Exhibit 4S, warrant identification, will become State Exhibit number 66.
Thank you. And if the witness could step down to help me.
Yes.
All right, Lieutenant, so I'm going to hand the marker to you. Can you sort of explain how it's made, what the bolt is, if you could do all that, show it to the juror?
So what you're looking at is a portion of the dayboard or marker. It's a corner portion. You can see that a straight edge here and a straight edge here. I don't know which corner, but it would have been a square. The green tells the operators of the vessel what side of the channel you're on. In this particular case, you're on the east side of the channel. The green, they have numbers also, so that you know as you're looking at a GPS or at a chart what actual marker you're at, and then that helps you identify which way you're going when the next marker is in sequence. Because if you miss a marker, you can deviate from the channel, run around, and cause damage to your vessel or your so again, it's made out of plywood. It's got some kind of wrap or adhesive. It helps get it discolored. It's like a vinyl material, the best way to describe it. You see that there's a bolt here, and that is what actually kept it on the bottom, because it being wood, it would have floated away like the rest of the marker probably did, because once we got there, there was no dayboards. So the environment we work in is a dynamic environment. It's not like on land when something lands, it's going to be there. On the water, it's very different, especially if it floats. Either the current or the winds and the waves would take it away if it floats. So in this particular scenario, this rod, which is what holds, as I described before, we got a pipe like a telephone pole, and you've got two pieces of wood. A rod goes to the sides, holding one to the other, and sandwiching, keeping them affixed to the pipe. Once the boards were broken and destroyed from the impact, obviously they came apart and wood floated away. Fortunately, the weight of the rod overcame the buoyancy of the wood and kept it on the bottom near the marker where divers recovered.
Thank you, Lieutenant. You can go to the seat. May I publish this, Judge? Sure. This is States 66. Now, did you bring another item of evidence with you to court today?
Yes, I did.
You said you did?
Yes, I did.
All right. I'm showing the defense was marked for ID 4T. May I approach, Judge? Lieutenant, you mentioned that, before you do anything, you mentioned that you brought another item of evidence with you here today. Is that what I'm showing you in States 4T for identification?
Yes, it is.
And similar to the piece of the channel marker, was this in the custody of FWC from the time of its recovery to today?
Yes, it is. It has been.
Where was it stored? Was it also stored in the vessel?
That is correct.
And then was it removed before the jury viewing?
That is correct.
Okay. And then the packaging here, it's plastic wrapped. Did you do that for purposes of court?
Correct.
All right. So I'm going to ask that 4T please be admitted.
No objection.
State Exhibit 4T, modified identification, will become State Exhibit number 67.
Okay. With the court's permission, could the witness borrow some gloves and open up the exhibit to publish to the jury?
Yes.
All right. Madam Clerk, do you have an extra pair of gloves for us by any chance? Or rename it? So just hold on one second, because I want to get you first.
I'll bring you another box for you.
Well, one moment, Lieutenant, sorry. Just waiting. Maybe while we're waiting, I can move on, Judge, actually, and then we'll come back to this. So, Lieutenant, prior to court, we spoke about the dimensions of a channel marker.
That is correct.
Did you bring something to use a demonstrative aid to show the size of the channel marker?
Yes, I was able to determine the size of the day board or day marker, and it was 3 feet by 3 feet.
All right, and so I can mark this even though it's just going to be a demonstrative. And just for the record, there's no writing on any of this, it's just a demonstrative. So, Lieutenant, I have, well, showing the defense. I'm showing you for you as a demonstrative. Is this the size of the channel marker 15?
The day board, that would have been the size of each of the boards that goes on the pipe.
Okay, so basically, are you saying there'd be one board on one side and then one board on the other side?
That is correct.
2.
That is correct.
And the size of each board is this.
Correct.
And this is put up so that boaters can know where to go.
That identifies the channel and that aids the boaters in staying within the channel, and it's maintained by United States Coast Guard.
And is this in day glow green, the real one?
The real one would have some kind of reflective green to make it easier to identify at night in the darkness.
Okay. All right, so I think we have the gloves now. Are they going to fit you, though?
One size fits all.
Ms. Adams was suggesting that I do it, but you were here.
You're okay with it?
Yes.
They're a bit thin. You might want to double them up if you're going to grab the fiberglass.
I'll just grab the fingertips.
And this is just since the plastic was a little bit, obstructing it, could you take the item out of the plastic and show the jurors? And for the record, it states 67. And just be careful because it's a private text. I'll hold it for you. So if you could show the front first and then the back.
All right, describe it.
Yeah.
So that is the, what would be the starboard side of the vessel. You can see part of the manufacturer that says Robalo, and it's the same color as the hull, and then this will be the, facing the inside, that typically wouldn't be exposed. All right, this is, again, one of the many items that will be covered around the marker.
Okay, if you wouldn't mind putting this back. Got it. And while you're doing that, if we could just do the same thing with the piece of the channel marker, it states 16. I can show the difference again. It states 16. I am 66. Okay. I'll take this back for you. And would you mind opening up state 66, please? You're using your hands?
Yeah,
The growth.
no,
So Miss Adams is right. Your hands were too big. Okay. And again, now it's out of the packaging. This is state 66. Actually, that's helpful.
This is one board. You got the pipe behind it vertically, and then you have another board making a sandwich. So one board faces north for the southbound loaders, and then if you put it on the other board, it will be on the other side, faces south for the northbound loaders. As we were describing, you got it's like a vinyl material that's stuck onto the plywood, and this is reflective, especially it's very important at night. It's very difficult to see, and typically voters will use a light or Q-beam to illuminate the next marker. And that's what helps you go from marker to marker and stay in good water so you don't run around and stay in a safe area.
Thank you. Good to see.
Ma'am, you don't want your scissors back?
All right, so we've gone through the recovery of some evidence. We've gone through the underwater video. How does FWC, how do you get a big boat onto land after a crash like this?
And one of the first things we have to do is we have to have bids. We got a contract, a company that will salvage the boat and float it and tow it in safely. Typically Seato or Boat US are the ones that first come to mind. There are others, but we have to get bids as part of the process due to the cost of something like that. It's several $1,000s. I believe in this case it was $8,000 was the lowest bid. And they go out there, they are trained in resurfacing the vessel, towing it in and keeping it dewatered, and then they'll take it to the nearest boat ramp typically, and we'll be waiting with our patrol vehicles and an FWC trailer that's big enough to place the vessel onto it.
Were you present when the vessel was salvaged by the professional company?
I was not.
Who was present?
I'd have to look on the,
That's okay. No, it's fine.
it would have been whatever officers were
Assigned.
assigned to watch the vessel that the morning of what would have been the 6th.
All right. Do you document the exterior of the vessel with photographs after it was salvaged?
I believe the officers would have taken pictures during the process. I took pictures once it was removed from the water and onto the trailer.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification purposes as 2L, 2K, and 2M. I'm showing the defense. Yeah. Okay, so we have 2L through 2M, Lieutenant. I'm gonna pass through them. Is this the vessel that was recovered by FWC and the professional contractor?
Yes, it was. It is. Yes, it was.
And is this last photograph a photo of the interior of the vessel?
Yes, it is.
And they fairly and accurately depict what you saw when the vessel was salvaged?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd ask that these items be admitted.
No objection.
No objection.
State Exhibit 2N, previously marked identification, will become State Exhibit number 68. 2K, 69. And 2L, 70.
Thank you. And actually, Lieutenant, before I publish these items of evidence to the jury, I just want to sort of ask you questions regarding your background and training. Have you ever received any specialized training in vessel crashes?
Yes.
Can you tell me about how you were able to get that specialized knowledge?
When we're officers, we typically try to go to NASBLA boating accident training.
So stop. NASBLA, what is that?
I believe it's National Association of State Boating Law Administrators. It's a group that focuses on safety and boating safety.
Now, when you actually attend, or how many hours of class did you attend for that?
There's 2 different classes. I've attended both the primary class, which is level 1. It's a 40-hour block. And then at a later time, you would attend level 2, which is another 40-hour block.
So a total of 80?
Correct.
Okay. So during those 80 hours, what are you learning about?
You're learning about how to investigate boating accidents, how to look at evidence, different types of evidence, looking at the damage on the vessels to try to determine how the accident happened. With technology, we can look at GPSs, telephones, looking at anything that has evidentiary value that can assist in bringing the picture together as to what occurred, whether it's a multiple vessel accident or in this case a vessel and a marker. You're looking at the evidence that you have before you to make that determination. Sometimes you're fortunate and you have electronics like GPS or phones that you can download, and we've learned over the years to use that to be able to get additional evidence to help us hone in on what happened. They'll provide times, coordinates, different things that can assist the investigation. In some cases, you do not have electronics. Not every boater is required to have a phone or a GPS. So you might have an accident where there is no electronics.
Let me stop you real quick because I want to focus more on, is there a way that you can look at the damage to a vessel and understand how the vessel was impacted by another body, be it a stationary object or another vessel? Can you talk about something more like that?
Yeah, we would look at.
Can we go sidebar real quick?
Ready.
So if you would like to speak to each other, you need to go outside to do that. It's a little bit hard to hear over here, even though I can hear what you want to say.
We need to take a very brief, it's just a brief break, it's not our coffee break yet.
Okay.
Just a brief break. Are there enough chairs in the jury room?
Yes, unless someone moved them. Let me count them real quick.
I want to make sure, because I'm just going to ask the jury to step into the jury room. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, leave your notepads at your seats if you would. Just step into the jury room. This will take a minute.
All right.
You can all be seated. So please refrain from using phrases like scientific phrases, force or speed, you know, or anything that would imply that you're testifying in an expert type of capacity. Because you are an accident reconstructionist, you understand from your testimony what information you have. But listen carefully to also counsel's questions, and just refrain from using any type of technical language in your testimony.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you say physics as well?
Yes,
Okay.
physics, anything, the physics of it, the force, you know, all this terminology, more scientific type terminology that would come from someone, well, the training you have, would come from someone with different types of training in physics and expertise along those lines. Okay.
Understood, Your Honor.
We'll just follow the questions.
Okay.
You are going to be seated. All right, let's continue with your direct.
Yes, Judge, thank you. Lieutenant, I was asking you some questions regarding some specialized training that you have. Really what I'm trying to ask is how a vessel behaves differently than an automobile when it strikes an object. Can you talk about...
Rephrase your question, counsel.
Can you talk about when a vessel is in a crash, how it behaves?
Objection.
Tighten up that question, counsel.
But hold on one second, Judge. Lieutenant, when we were at the jury view of the boat, was there different types of damage to the vessel?
Yes.
All right. Can you describe different types of damage to a vessel that you would see?
Objection, Judge.
to the vessel.
To the vessel in question. Okay. Yeah. I think what we're going to do, Lieutenant, just to move past this, is go to the vessel itself, okay?
Yes, sir.
So this is already in evidence. And let's start with states 69, okay?
One more time to me, please.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
That's not.
Well, I'm going to show them this right now. May the witness step off the witness stand, Judge?
Yes.
So, Lieutenant, the jurors have seen this video. Can you sort of describe that damage to them so they have a better understanding of what it is?
So,
And do you need a bigger photo?
if you have one,
Yeah.
zoom in.
From the inside.
So, this is a damage consistent with having struck a mark. I think about it and keep it, the judge's instruction.
Question, please.
And what, can you describe the actual damage to the vessel, the body of the vessel?
Yeah, so you're gonna see damage begins at about this point. It's hard to tell in this image. If you have something that more zoomed in, I can.
Okay, let me get you more zoomed in image. Have a seat. Hold on one second. Yep. Madam Clerk, can you mark this for me, please? I'm showing the defense was now marked as 4V. You had asked for a close-up of what I was showing you, 4V. Is this a close-up of the damage to the vessel?
That is from the stern.
All right, and would this aid you in explaining the extent of the damage to the jurors?
It will help if, do we have one from the bow? Where the initial impact?
And so I'm adding to what I'm showing you 4W and 4X. Hopefully this helps you explain it better. May I approach it? So this is 4V, 4W, and 4X for identification. Will these photos assist you in explaining to the jury?
Yes.
All right. And so, do you remember at the viewing, Lieutenant Thompson pointed out two parts of the vessel to the
Yes.
jury?
Yes.
Okay. And so those parts of the vessel, are they depicted in 4W and 4X?
Yes, they are.
All right. And are these two separate locations, one towards the front and one towards the middle?
That is correct.
Okay. I'd ask that all three of these photos be admitted, Judge.
No objection.
Without objection.
State Exhibit 4V, previously marked by identification, will become State Exhibit number 71, 4X, 72, and 4W, 73.
Thank you, Judge. And now may the lieutenant step down to help. Okay, so Lieutenant, you asked for a photo that was closer to the front of the ship. Is that what I'm showing you here as State 73?
Yes.
All right, can you use this exhibit to show the jurors what you wanted to show them about the impact?
So what you can see on this image of the vessel, you're gonna see a portion of green here, which that's where that vessel made contact with the dayboard. And that's transferred, which you can be seen here, and that is very close to the initial impact point, is one of the furthest forward portions of damage on the vessel. And you've got transfer from the dayboard, which would have been the green marker.
All right, and now midship, state 72, does that also show transfer on it?
Yes, it does.
And can you sort of point to it for
You
the
can see
jurors?
there's green transfer here, and then that tells us that also made contact with the dayboard, leaving a mark.
So does that mean that the vessel upon impact would have obviously reached the dayboard marker to make that color?
That is correct.
All right. And then lastly, going to the full ship photo, photo 71, can you sort of explain what we see in the damaged part of the vessel? What is the breaks in the vessel?
So the damage you see is damage consistent with the piling making impact, or the vessel making impact with the piling. And that's why you're missing sections of the vessel. And it's when it's actually pushed in, it's very difficult to see in the vessel from.
So are you saying that the piling struck the body of the vessel and then the marker scraped along the top?
No. So the vessel struck the piling.
Right.
Is the first thing. As the vessel's going by, it hits at the front where it transfers. Remember, the dayboard is on the top, the very top of the piling, so it's very high. The higher portion of the vessel and the furthest out from the vessel would have been near the bow on the starboard side. That contacted the dayboard. As that is getting crushed in, and it's leaving a mark due to the contact, then the vessel impacts the actual piling, crushing the side of it. And remember, the vessel's tendency would also be to lean because of the impact with the marker at the same time, exposing the underside to getting crushed by its force against the steel pipe.
Objection.
Come on, just try. You can have a seat.
This one.
So if you were to be in a boat and bump into a buoy, what direction would the vessel go towards?
Objection.
Oh,
You could answer, Lieutenant. Thank you for being here.
Okay. If you could clarify it a little bit more, a buoy is not fixed, so it's going to have to depend on the current and where the vessel, what direction the vessel's, and what side of the vessel's.
Let's just use this as an example. If a vessel hits a stationary object, what direction would you expect the vessel to go?
It's going to, how do I explain?
And again, looking at what happened here, if the front starboard side impacts a stationary object, where would you expect the vessel to go?
The vessel's going to start to heel over as the collision is happening, and the damage is wanting to slow the vessel, and the vessel's forward motion wants to keep going. Therefore, it's crushing what's making contact from the vessel, fiberglass, with the steel piling in this case.
Okay. And thank you, Lieutenant. I know that took a minute to get through, but thank you. I appreciate your patience. So let me ask you, earlier you had mentioned GPS, okay? Did you recover the GPS in this case?
The GPSs were documented. There was 2 of them on the vessel. I believe the brand is Simrad. They were documented when we dove the vessel. Ultimately, they were removed once the vessel was brought to shore, and I was the one who removed them.
And Simrad, what is Simrad?
Simrad is a brand, just like saying Garmin or Apple or some other make of the product.
Now, prior to removing the Simrad GPS from the vessel itself, do you document it?
Yes.
Photographs?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm showing you what's marked for identification, 3S through 4H. And before I do that, let me just show the defense. May I approach this?
Yes.
All right, so Lieutenant, I'm gonna flip through the photos again the way I have been.
Is what this one again?
Yeah. And when I'm finished, I'm gonna ask you if they fairly and accurately depict the devices that you saw on the boat and whether or not you in fact recovered them. Do they fairly and accurately depict that?
Yes, they do.
Should I ask that these items be admitted into evidence? No objection.
State Exhibit 3S, marked for identification, will become State Exhibit number 74. 3T, 75. 3U, 76. 3V, 77. 3W, 78. 3X, 79. 3Y, 80. 3Z, 81. 4A, 82. 4B, 83. 4C, 84. 4D, 85. 4E, 86. 4F, 87. 4G, 88. And 4H, 89.
Thank you. Can the lieutenant step down, Judge? To help publish.
After these photographs, how much longer?
Not much longer. So, Lieutenant, can you describe what's depicted in State 74 and show the jury?
This is a console of the vessel after it had been pulled out of the water, the boat had been pulled out of the water and placed on a trailer. It was pulled out at Homestead Bayfront Park, which is a public boat ramp. Adjacent to that boat ramp is Biscayne National Park headquarters. The boat was taken there because it's a law enforcement facility. That way the public doesn't have access to it, and we can securely take pictures, document the vessel. And this is a picture of the console of the vessel on the trailer, where you can see the 2 Simrad GPS units right here, where I'm pointing to.
And actually,
Like little screens.
it's okay, Lieutenant, because I'm going to show you those are the screens inside there. 76 and 75. What are these screens used for?
For navigation, those are GPSs, global positioning systems, and they'll have charts on them, which is an aid to the operator to navigate safely.
And there are 2 screens?
There's 2 screens on this particular vessel.
All right. How about in State 77? What is this?
That is, I discussed that before, that was a panel where the battery switches are that have been dislodged and was held in place by the cables and the wire. They have been dislodged by the impact.
Now, the actual devices themselves, were they behind like a bolted compartment?
So to remove them, you have to access the back side of them. So if you're looking at the console, the screens are in front of you. You would have to go to the front of the console, open the door, and get to what would be the back of the screens. And there's a panel that needs to be removed so you can access the back of each of the screens.
And is that what I'm showing you in State 79?
That is a picture of the board. So phone manufacturers are not going to want all those wiring exposed, so they put this panel to make it look clean and sharp. So I had to remove that panel to have access to the back of the GPS to be able to remove it.
And then, so when you remove the panel, is that what's depicted in States 80?
That is, once the panel is removed, that's what you're looking at the back side of the console, looking from the front of the vessel towards the back inside the console.
Now, actually just going back quickly to States 80, are there two separate devices, or what is that?
That's the back of both of the units. You see it's a black storage. You can see this is going to be your port side, and it's indicated whoever wired it wanted to keep things organized, and there's a little red tape on them, on the wiring. And then this is your starboard, which has green tape on it. And that's typically because vessels on the port side, which is your left, and behind the wheel, is your red light. On your right side, which is your starboard, that has a green light. So if you just say right and left, it can get confusing depending on how you're looking at the vessel. Where when you say port or starboard, it doesn't matter how you look at the vessel, you're clear on what side you're referring to.
And does that match the color of the markers as well, red and green?
That is correct. The red and green, they tell you what side of the marker you're supposed to be on, depending on the channel.
So I'm looking at 81 and 82. Are these just close-ups of the red and green?
That is correct. So this would be your port unit. So if you're looking at the back of the console, it will be like this. This will be your left port because of the red. Green is your starboard side. So that's how you can tell without being physically on the vessel.
And then finally, were there some photos that you took that showed the serial numbers on the GPS?
Yes, each unit has a serial number. So part of the process when you document is document the serial numbers. And you can see in this image, this is the port because it's got red tape on the power cables and on the cables themselves. And then you can see here it says SN and it's got a serial number ending in 787. So this is your port unit. I don't know if you need further clarification. So that's the one, if you're standing behind the steering wheel, to the left, the port side.
And now this one,
Can I see that? Thank you.
now this one I'm showing you ending in 796. Do you see the beginning of the green cable there?
Yes, it is.
And what does that mean again?
So, again, this is the opposite unit. The green is your starboard. And there's two pictures because this one came out a little blurry. So I had to take a close-up of it. And you can see this one ends in, it says SN serial number, has a mapping number, but it ends in 796. And again, in this image, you can see the power cables or the accessory cables, and it's got green tape on it, which is me zooming in to give a clear explanation.
Well, after this, we're going to look at the other item that you brought with you.
He was asking me.
Thank you. Okay. So, Lieutenant, did you bring these devices with you to court?
I did.
And are they in this big box over here?
Yes, they are.
May I approach, Judge? So unless anything has changed, Lieutenant, these are the devices that you brought with you?
That is correct.
All right, and do you see, I guess there's a property label on these?
That is correct. One of the two has a tag attached because they were both the same item number. This is our evidence tag, and it says quantity. It's item number 28 for us in our evidence system, and it's two SIMRAD units with the serial numbers on there. Would you like for me to read them
No,
out?
it's okay. I ask that these items be admitted.
Set Exhibit 2Y Composites, marked for identification, become State Exhibit number 90 Composites.
90?
Composite.
Composite. All right, Lieutenant, with the court's permission, would you mind stepping down and showing the jurors these devices? Okay. If you can just go one at a time.
This is going to be one of the two SIMRAD GPS units. If you look back here, you can see a power cable. We removed that because it's part of the process to try to get the units fired up to extract data from them. But this is what I was referring to when they installed it. This is the port GPS unit, and this would have been the port cable when they wired it. So that's an easy way for us to identify it. That's why I left it on. And then if you read through here, you can see it's really small. That is the serial number that I read before. The serial number is a serial sticker. You can see it here. And you see they have different serial numbers, obviously, because the manufacturer want to keep track of the product and know for warranty purposes. That's it.
If you could do the same thing with the second one.
So this will be the starboard unit, which is the one behind the helm to the right. And again, this one got green tape on it, that made it easier for us to identify. And then it's got a label down here, with the serial number as well. So, want to closer look?
No, it's okay.
That's all I kind of wanted to see it. But
They'll be
it's
able
the same
to,
thing.
they'll be able to look at it when it's,
So these are the two units that were on the vessel when you guys viewed the vessel this morning.
and just we're taking a brief break. Did you want to take a brief break? I'm pretty close. Maybe 5-10 minutes.
I'm going to take a break now.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break now. Please put your notepads inside the envelopes. We're going to take about 15 minutes and we're going to take you. Leave your envelopes at the chairs. Please don't discuss the case. We want somebody else recording. I'll be back in 15 minutes. Thank you.
All rise.
Thank you, Judge. Lieutenant, I have just maybe one or two more questions for you, and then I'll turn it over to the defense. The GPS SIMRAD devices that you brought here to court, had you, and I think you maybe briefly mentioned this, had you installed them on the vessel for purposes of today's jury viewing?
I believe Lieutenant McDonald just placed them on there. They weren't installed. They were just placed in the holes where they were removed from.
Okay,
They weren't
so-
bolted on or anything like that.
All right, so they were in the position as where they would be on the day of the crash.
Correct.
Okay, to make it as real as possible for the jury.
Correct.
All right. Lieutenant, I have no additional questions for you. The defense may have some. Thank you. Good afternoon, Lieutenant.
Good afternoon.
So when you talk about a day marker, are you referring to the green part that you showed the piece of before?
They're day markers, day boards. It's common talk for us.
But so that would be.
The boards?
Can I see? Just that one. So that's State's Exhibit 66, just the sign, right?
Correct.
So the day marker is just the sign.
Correct.
Okay.
The channel marker will be the piling with the whole sign.
And when you refer to the piling, is that the whole pole down all the way to the floor?
Correct. It's a steel pipe.
Okay. So the top of the day marker, is that flush with the top of the piling?
I couldn't tell you on this particular incident because it was gone.
Okay, so channel marker 15 on September 4th, 2022, you don't know if the day marker of the top of that was flush with the top of the pipe?
I couldn't tell you that.
Okay. Can I see State's Exhibit 36?
Okay, I'm sorry. You're going to have to go through.
I'll go.
36.
Is it a picture? It's a picture, yeah. I think it's here.
All the pictures are right there.
Not get this out of order.
36.
Judge, may I approach the witness? So, Lieutenant, this is State's Exhibit 36 that was put into evidence during your direct. Do you recognize what that is?
Yes, I do.
Is that the channel marker 15, a day after this incident?
Yes, it is.
Okay. If I were to pass you this post-it here with a 15 on it, would you be able to tell me where that was located on that steel pole?
I would guesstimate right about here. It might be a little lower or higher, but I will guesstimate here based on the rectangle that I referred to before where there was no bird droppings
Okay, can you just place that on there?
or something like that.
So is that flush with the top of the pole there, or is that above it?
It's hard for me to know exactly where it would be. I never saw it. But
Okay.
based on the area where there's no bird droppings, it had to have at least been down that far.
Down that far, okay. Can the witness step down? Yeah, sure. So, can you publish that for the jury? This line here on the bottom, you see that? There's a line there. You know what that is?
That could be the growth line because the tide goes up and down. So that's probably a high tide mark, I would guess, where the growth isn't going to go any higher because it never, the water doesn't go any higher.
So when you say growth mark, is that called barnacles?
Particles, that could be algae, it could be different plants. Another one.
Yeah, yeah.
I believe he's referring to that one.
And what is high tide versus low tide? What does that mean?
Every six hours and a little bit, there's a tide fluctuation. The water goes up and down due to the positioning of the moon and the earth. And the water can come up and it can go down depending on what time of the day. It's typically 6 hours and change. I don't remember the exact time.
Okay, so this picture, that with that line exposed, the growth line, that would be a picture of low tide, correct?
The growth would be, I would assume it's high tide because that's the highest point the water is going to grow.
Let me rephrase. Where the growth is exposed and you can see it, would that be low tide or high tide?
I would say high tide.
That would be high tide. So the water would not go above that line?
It can go above that line on certain times of the year where we have things that are called king tides, where the moon's closer and it may go, but normally a high tide would not go there because then you would have algae growing at what, or barnacles growing at whatever the highest point the tide typically gets to. If that makes any sense. But there are fluctuations where it could be higher and it could be lower than normal.
Okay. And do you know the distance on channel marker 15 on September 4th, 2022? The distance from the water line to the bottom of the day marker, the sign on the top at the time of this accident?
No, I don't believe I could measure it.
Okay, is that something you could measure?
We could measure to the bottom of the markings. I'm not aware of any kind of measurement.
Okay. Of course. The next marker in the channel to the north that is green, do you know which marker that is?
I believe it. If there's no lettering, it should be 13. Sometimes there are other, like let's say a 15B or a 13B. So I believe it was 13, but I'd have to look at a navigation chart to be exact.
Okay. Are you you're not familiar with Cutter Bank Channel's markers?
Yes.
Oh, you are. So in Cutter Bank Channel, you don't know off the top of your head if there's another marker. Okay.
I know there's markers. There's more markers. Yes, there are. I couldn't tell you. The number sequence isn't always in order, if that makes sense.
No, I understand. So considering you don't know the next marker, you wouldn't know the height difference between, say, 13 or 13A and 15. You wouldn't know the height differences there.
No, sir.
But is that something that could be measured?
It could be measured, but there are differences between markers. I was out there probably not this Saturday, the Saturday before, and I can tell you the piling for marker 15 is lower than the others.
So it's shorter, meaning, when you say
Yes.
lower. So closer to the water?
Correct.
I'm going to get this back. Put it back here. Got it on there. Let's put that on there. A moment, Joe.
Sure.
Isn't it true that channel marker 15 is actually 4 feet shorter than 13A?
I do not know that.
Is that something that you can measure for us?
I could measure it.
Thank you.
Just very briefly. Lieutenant, are the markers designed to be seen by boaters regardless of being low tide or high tide?
Yes, they are.
Would it make any sense for them to design markers that would be filled up by tides? Would that make any sense if it's designed to be seen?
You mean the day board?
Yeah.
That they end up underwater?
Right, would that make any sense?
No.
Would that be contradictory to the whole purpose of having these markers?
Correct. The purpose is for boaters to see them from a distance so they can plan their route and stay within the channel.
So I'm going to show you what's in evidence as states 22. Lieutenant, this is already in evidence as states 22. The Coast Guard, did they repair marker 15 and put a new day board on top?
I believe they did.
And is that the date up top, September 6, 2022?
I believe so. not 100% because I hadn't been out on that day. I wasn't there.
Okay, but
But
just
it's
to
my
be,
understanding that they did replace it, yes.
the Coast Guard didn't leave this piling without a
Correct.
dayboard.
Correct. Once they were notified, they made arrangements, and shortly after the accident, they
Okay.
replaced it.
And does the dayboard get repaired essentially immediately?
I would assume they make a whole new day board because there was no day board left.
Okay.
So
May I just,
they would have put 2 new boards.
okay. May I just republish this, Judge? Thank you, Lieutenant. I have a few questions for you. Judge, briefly for us. I'm sorry, just one last question. Just one more, Judge. When you were out there, did you have any difficulty seeing the day boards on the channel markers at all?
When we were out there diving,
Yeah, the ones that hadn't been destroyed, were you able to see them?
of course, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Detective Ben Dow.
Do you solemnly swear from the testimony about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
So help me God.
You may have a seat.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Please keep your voice nice and loud and clear. Microphone's this way, or is this way, so.
Absolutely.
Good afternoon. Could you please introduce yourself to the jury?
Good afternoon. My name is Detective Bengal Dow.
Where do you work?
I work for Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office, Crime Scene Investigations.
What do you do as a crime scene detective?
Besides handling crime scenes, I do all manner of documentation of crime scenes, evidence collection, preservation, impounding. I do
You rolled
drones.
your eyes when you said impounding. What is that, and why did you roll your eyes?
That's a large portion. That's a large portion of our job responsibilities is impounding evidence to make sure that they can get into the lab and finish getting processed and whatnot.
Does that also include photography?
It does. That's part of the documentation process. I do drones. I do 3D imaging, blood spatter. I do all manner of crime scene. I've been there a little while.
How long have you been a crime scene investigator?
I'll be 20 years this October.
Before going to the crime scene unit of the sheriff's office, or formerly the Miami-Dade Police Department, where were you assigned?
Before that, I was in Uniform Patrol, Northside District, as an FTO.
And what's that, an FTO?
I'm sorry, field training officer. Taught the new guys coming out of the academy and took the information that they learned in the academy and applied it to real-world situations.
What was it that made you decide to go into the crime scene unit?
Well, at the time, I really didn't know I wanted to go into the crime scene. It was suggested by one of my coworkers. He thought that I'd be good at it. I was very interested in crime scene and the science aspect of it. So I went ahead and interviewed. I had an opportunity to interview. I interviewed, was selected, and here we are 20 years later.
As an investigator with Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office, are you sometimes requested to assist other law enforcement agencies with their cases?
Yes, quite frequently.
Were you asked last year to assist the State Attorney's Office and the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission with a pending case?
Yes, I was.
What were you asked to do?
Documentation of a reenactment involving a vessel homicide.
Did you have any involvement in the initial investigation back in September of 2022?
No, this was my first and only involvement in this case.
Okay. Did you and your agency, in fact, assist with that request?
I did.
Okay. Do you have a pilot's license to operate a drone?
I do. I have what's referred to as an FAA Part 107. Oh, I'm sorry. An FAA Part 107 pilot's license.
How did you get that? Like, what do you have to do to get that kind of a license?
Well, we ended up studying quite a bit. There was some training that we took as well to prepare. And then you sit for the test with an FAA certified testing site, which I passed, and that allowed us to begin our drone program. I'm one of the founders for the drone program for Miami-Dade.
One of the what?
Founders.
Okay.
We started the program.
How many other pilots of drones are there within the department?
Well, now we have quite a few, but in our unit specifically, we have 6.
Now, this reenactment that took place, do you remember what day it was?
It was June 9th of 2025. It was a Monday.
Okay. So like 1 year and 2 days ago, basically?
Yes.
Okay. Where did that reenactment occur?
Cutler Bank. And it's a body of water over by just south of Turkey Point. It's a power plant.
Detective, with the court's permission, would you please step down for a moment?
Sure.
I have this little pointer here, and for the record, I'm showing you State's Exhibit number 2, which is in evidence. Do you see the location of Cutter Bank on this?
Sorry, my glasses.
I have my glasses on, and there's a little part here that says something like
Oh, I
Cutter
see.
Bank Shallows.
Oh, it's
Is that the right one?
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
Okay. Do you see where the approximate location of where Turkey Point would be?
Yeah, Turkey Point, this is the cooling, large cooling canals.
Angle yourself just so
Oh, I'm
so
sorry.
everybody can see.
The
Fine.
cooling, this is for the cooling
Oh.
of the actual Turkey Point and then Turkey Point.
Okay, thanks. And let me ask you, where were you during this reenactment?
We decided to stay off to the side here, and we launched and retrieved the drone from the vessel.
Okay. Can you just point again where you were? Okay, thanks. Before I ask you more questions about that reenactment, are you yourself a boater, a person who likes to go out on boats?
I am.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Maine.
And what do most of your family members do?
They're all commercial fishermen.
So growing up, how often were you on a boat?
All the time.
Okay. Since leaving Maine for Miami, have you been on boats?
Yes, I've owned boats, and family members own boats, and I help use their boats and all that.
Are you familiar with how channel markers are designed to assist with safe boating?
Yes.
Can you explain?
Channel markers use a red and white marker system, and that helps with navigation on open waterways as well as estuaries and rivers. So basically the big rule of thumb is red, right, return. So when you're returning to port, you want to have the red marker to your right side, and those markers, regardless of where you're at on the water, you always know which way to go because of the way the marker system is, as far as what side you should be on, so people don't get confused even at night.
So if a channel goes more north and south than east and west, what side would the green markers be on versus the red markers?
The green markers are on the side of the channel that is where the United States is, where the land is. Not necessarily where an island is or what have you, but it's there. Unless it's in a river, and the river then it's upstream. So that same rule applies, but it's an upstream move. So if you're going against the stream, the red markers are on the right.
Can you explain for the jurors, what was the idea behind trying to reenact the vessel crash that happened on September the 4th of 2022? Was that like with an eye toward what we're doing right now in trial?
Well, we definitely, we want to be able to, graphically show what occurred to the best of our ability, right? So when we start, not everybody's familiar with the waterways, not everybody's familiar with how boats work, and speed and the different dynamics of boating. So we want to be able to show that, right? We want to be able to document that to the best of our ability and as close and as proximate as we can.
Without jeopardizing the safety of a jury?
Yeah, no, we definitely don't want to do it with the jury.
Having, I imagine, traveled in automobiles and traveled on boats, how does 40 miles per hour feel on a boat versus in a car?
Objection.
When we're talking about speed on a boat, speed on a boat is more significant than it is in like an automobile. We're all used to traveling at speed, right? If we're thinking of a 40-mile-an-hour zone, we're thinking, that's like Kendall Drive, or it's that kind of speed. However, on a boat, you're going through an item that's 1,000 times thicker than the open air, and it takes a lot more energy to get up to that speed, to get going.
Thank you. Detective, can you describe the process and the steps that were taken prior to actually going out there and doing this recreation?
Yeah, well, first we had to outline what the mission was going to be. So we did a bunch of phone calls and meetings with FWC and the state attorney's office to figure out the scope and the best way to proceed. Since this was our first time doing a water launch or a vessel launch with the drone, we met up with our Marine Patrol to take a look at their boat to make sure that we had a boat that was available that would suit our needs. Then we ended up contacting the actual manufacturer of the drone, which is Skydeal, to make sure that we're going to be using the drone actually in a way that it was designed. Actually, don't want to be operating outside of the limits of the drone, which it is designed for this, so it worked out quite well. We established parameters for safety, so we identified what's referred to as a visual observer, which happened to be Sergeant Kopp, which is my sergeant. A visual observer is defined by the FAA as a person of safety. Their sole purpose is to not only keep an eye on the drone, but the actual environment that we're in to make sure that we're operating safely, right? And that there aren't people or vessels or airplanes or helicopters that are going to be in the way, as well as other obstructions. We identified safety vessels, closed down so that we could close down the channel. Things of those kind of operational things to make sure that we can run a smooth aerial operation.
The vessels that were actually used for this recreation, were they police boats?
They were FWC boats that did the actual closing down of the channel, and then we were launching from an MDSO or a Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office vessel.
Are those boats equipped with emergency lights?
Yes, all emergency lights and sirens and radios.
Were the emergency lights on during this?
Yeah, during the whole time, yes.
Had you And I think you said this was the first time that you had launched a drone from a vessel.
Yes.
Where would you usually do it?
Normally, we do it from land. We use our drones not solely, but mostly for scene documentation is their primary role. We do other things with them, but they're, our main function is to take aerial photography of every police-involved shooting and every homicide that we attend.
About how big is this drone?
It's 2 feet across. It weighs a little over 5 pounds.
Can you show it with your hands?
It's about like this. When it's unfolded, it folds up, but it's about that big. It comes in a big case. It can travel up to 45 miles an hour. It has a 41 megapixel camera, 2K video. 41 megapixel camera, a 2K video camera, as well as a 16-degree thermal imager.
Did you have any concerns about potentially losing the drone?
Well, I mean, it's always a concern. We're going to make sure that we're operating safely, right? We don't want to be doing something with a piece of equipment and being poor stewards of taxpayer dollars. The sheriff would not appreciate that. So we want to make sure that that we're not that we're doing everything within our ability. The drone itself is a very, very high-tech piece of gear. It has onboard AI. It has 6 additional other cameras. So it was definitely operating within its ability.
In order to try to guard against the potential of the drone falling into the bay, did you and your sergeant kind of practice catching the drone?
Yes, on land we did several, what we call them hand launches. Like I said, we don't typically do hand launches mainly because you don't need to. It's got spinning blades. It is a little unnerving. It's safe to do, but it is unnerving that you're holding this big object with these big blades moving so fast. But it is designed for that, so it is something you do. So normally we just launch it from the ground. We can set it on the ground. It takes off on its own. It actually picks up off the ground, goes about 8 feet in the air. It does a 360 as it scans the area to start the AI that does the AI does. It uses the 6 cameras for crash avoidance. So it is constantly analyzing the surrounding environment.
Okay, so now let's talk about this actual reenactment. Can you describe for the jurors how did that happen?
So once we all got on to the site and we got the channel blocked off and we're pretty much ready to go. We did a couple of trial runs so that we could sit there and make sure that we're all in agreement with what we're doing, how we're going to do it, and we're going to proceed from there. So at that time we launched the drone, and part of our documentation process, whether I'm doing a crime scene or whether I'm doing a reenactment, the documentation process is pretty much the same. So I've got to get up in the air. I've got to take some what we call overall. And the overall image is where you have geographical identifiers that tell you where you are. Right. So if it's land-based, that's going to be street signs and buildings and things like that. Here, the only thing that we can really use is Turkey Point because we're kind of out there in the middle of nowhere, really, when you really think about it. And there was no real identifier, so we used Turkey Point, got a couple of reference shots from there, and then we photographed the channel itself, and then we begin the videoing process. And we're going to do several runs of the reenactment. We placed out, or FWC rather, placed out marker buoys at their designated positions to make sure that they are hitting their speed at those marks, so that they know that when they hit this mark, if they've got to be going X amount of speed, so that when they reach the next one, they've got to be going at that speed. This way, they know that we're being as accurate as you can as far as speed goes.
For the record, I'm showing counsel states 5E, 5F, 5D, 5C, and 5B. Your Honor, I believe without objection, the state is going to be moving states 5B, C, D, E, and F into evidence.
No objection. 5B, C.
D, E, and F.
State Exhibit 5B, previously marked for identification, will become State Exhibit 91, 5C 92, 5D 93, 5E 94, and 5F 95.
Showing counsel now states 5A for identification. Judge, I believe there's no objection to the state moving 5A for identification and evidence.
State Exhibit 5A, previously marked for identification, will become State Exhibit number 96.
Your Honor, may the witness step down, please?
Yes.
Detective, I'm showing you what's been marked in evidence. It states 96. I ask you if you could use this pointer and kind of orient us to what we're looking at in this photograph.
Here we're looking at the channel marker, and we're at the actual channel. That's this right here. Right? There's an orange one here, a green one, and there's right now. And it's 13, 14, and 15. We're way back here. And this is the safety vessel that's blocking off the channel.
And these photographs, did you also place them all on a jump drive?
I did.
Okay. And so the plan with the vessels was to do what? If you could just show, just so the jury will kind of have an idea of what was going to be taking place.
We're going to be coming down. We're going to be coming down the channel. Here, the drone. This is one thing. Just take out the drone, and we're back quite way, close to the south end of the north. And as the vessel is going to come by, I'm going to videotape the vessel for whatever it's for FWC's part in the reenactment. One's operating the vessel. I'm just there to document it, videograph it.
Does this photograph, is it looking to the south or to the north? Let's start with this. Which is your police boat?
My police boat should be this one.
Okay. And what's this other little boat here?
That's an FWC. That's one of the safety vessels.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, a little bit slower,
Oh,
a
I'm
little
sorry.
bit louder, okay?
Certainly.
Thank you very much.
And so in what direction was the FWC vessel going to be traversing the channel?
They're going to be starting from the north and going south.
And so that would be which way?
Coming this way.
Okay, thank you.
No.
We have some photographs here. For the record, I'm showing council states 91 and 92. Do these just kind of depict the overall location of where the Cutter Bank Channel is?
Yes.
And can you actually see like the difference in the depths of water on States Exhibit number 91?
And you can
For the
tell
channel?
that you can tell that the channel is physically deeper, and you can see the margins of the actual channel that's been cut out.
And so like there's a kind of darker line that goes halfway through? Is
Correct.
that the channel?
That is the channel.
So the darker the water, the deeper the water?
Potentially, yes.
I'm showing you now States Exhibit number 93. Does this exhibit show where your police vessel is?
It does.
Can you use this pen and circle where the vessel that you were on?
So,
Okay, and can you put MDSO for Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office? And where was the FWC vessel?
the FWC safety vessel is right here.
And could you put FWC? Okay, and can you now, with that pen, show us where marker number 15, 14, and 13 would be?
This is 15, 14, and this should be 13.
Can I see that just for a moment? Where you marked it.
Your Honor, this is exhibit number 93. Showing counsel states 4Z. Detective, I'm showing you states 4Z. Do you recognize this exhibit?
Yes, that's the jump drive I prepared.
Okay. Is your handwriting on not only the jump drive, but also on the covering for it or the packaging
On the
for
envelope,
it?
yes.
Okay. Judge, I move, and have you seen the contents of this jump drive?
Yes, I prepared it.
And is this a fair and accurate depiction of the stills that were taken by the drone as well as the video images from the
Yes,
drone?
yes it is.
I move states 4Z for identification and evidence.
So we have an objection that requires the court's attention.
Come on over here, thank you.
Your Honor, the state,
Okay.
oh, sorry about that. The state once again is moving to states 4Z for identification and evidence.
Counsel, with that objection noted, subject to being linked, it will be admitted.
State exhibit 4C, previously marked for
Is that C or
identification.
Z?
Z, I'm sorry, Z. Becomes state exhibit number 97.
90.
97, Judge.
Your Honor, may I publish? Detective, if you want to step down with the court's permission? Just because the image is a little clearer, can you try to orient the jurors on showing what is picture number 1?
Okay, so that's curtain point back there. This is the channel here. And this is marker 15, and that little orange dot is a marker buoy. Is one of the marker buoys for the speed check, basically. So that one of them is, and that's 14.
Okay. And this is looking in what direction?
We are looking mostly west.
Can you orient the jury for the second photograph on the jump drive?
So now we're looking to the north. We have barrier islands, and we're going to be coming in from.
Wait, you need to speak up.
Sorry, we're the barrier islands. We're going to be coming in from the north, or at the east.
Okay, so that we'll have an idea when we see the actual video. Where does the FWC test reverse for the video?
Well, that's it right there.
Okay.
That little dot back there.
And where, in what direction is it heading?
It's going to be coming south, so it's at the north end of the channel.
Can you use it a pointer?
Oh, sorry.
Right.
It's at the north end of the channel. Right straight through here.
And in this photograph,
This is where we're launching from. This is our MDSO boat. That's the safety vessel. Here's marker 15, and there's that little orange dot is that speed check. Speed check buoy.
Okay.
It's a little wider shot, same. This is my vessel here that I'm on. It's marker 15, a little speed check buoy, marker 14, and that's her key point back in the most northwest.
And the last photograph that we have.
And here we are, we're further down. I'm not quite midway with the drone, but I'm looking in that direction. The FWC vessel is going to be coming from the north, traversing south, and that's marker 13, 14, 15. The orange buoy is too small to see at this distance, but that's my vessel here, and then the safety vehicle or vessel, and the boat that's going to run the actual course.
Madam Mayor, would this have permission to be seated here while
Yes.
the video is playing?
Just keep plugging your voice up.
Yes, sir.
Is that number one?
Yes. And this first video, is it kind of like just an all-around shot to show the location?
That's correct. So here, videoing, trying to figure out the best altitude to be at in this area.
What's this here?
That's Turkey Point in the background, so we're getting our reference. When we do crime scene things, we do it exactly the same way over and over and over again. So this counts as kind of my overall establishing my geographical location, and we're going to videotape it. That's marker 15. That's me there in the vessel. That's FWC safety vehicle and the boat that's going to run.
This is the longest video. This is about 5 minutes, right?
Yes, sir. That's your speed marker buoy, and that's marker 15.
Two vessels here.
So that's what's the gray boat is the FWC, the white boat is the MBSO, and you can see me, I'm standing next to that canopy in the back there.
That's you.
That's a little heavier then, but yes.
And who's this?
That's Sergeant Kopp, he's the visual observer,
And the drone catcher.
and the drone catcher, yes.
Okay. May seem a little on the obvious side, but this here, what is that?
That's our anchor line, that's what holds us in position. believe we have left them on the whole time.
And then is this you initiating the?
So we're gonna initiate the landing
process?
sequence here, and the drone knows that it's over water here, so it's a little apprehensive, so to speak. It's still operating with what it's supposed to be doing, but it knows that it's not supposed to land on water. So it doesn't, since it doesn't want to do that, it's sitting there analyzing the environment, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to force it to a hand catch, and it's just going to lower slowly. Is all that means. It's not very dramatic.
The drone thought you were trying to kill it?
It was definitely, it's designed not for it to be as safe as possible, so it knows. It doesn't help that we're bobbing around.
We can kind of see, but just for the record, what were the weather conditions like on that day?
Well, for boating, it was fairly flat. It was a light breeze, not very choppy. It was actually quite a nice day, actually. There wasn't a lot of traffic, boating traffic, which we picked the date. We picked a Monday. And here it comes.
Okay. Now let's start looking at some of the passes of the FWC vessel through the channel.
Can you just call out the number for us?
Yes. One moment, please. This one is S1001384, drone following FWC vessel. This is the vessel.
In this video, in the beginning, I'm actually trying to keep up with the boat, but the drone doesn't go fast enough.
So you started at about the same location as the FWC vessel?
The vessel is a little bit further to the north, but thereabouts. I'm about 2/3 of the way down the channel, and the plan was as it comes through that I'm gonna zoom up with the drone. Now, the drone is capable of 45 miles an hour. However, when you do that, it uses an excessive amount of battery. So I'm going to keep it down to where it does 35, to the 35 mile an hour mark, and it's still not enough. The boat is much faster.
Where's that?
That's marked 50.
Look at S1001390, drone view west FWC.
Can you say that again slowly?
Yeah. One moment. S1001390, drone view west FWC. Let me just pause this real quick. This, where are you along the channel?
I'm at the far end of the channel, flying the drone. The drone is forward up by FWC. They're outside of the channel before entering the channel. They're out there because they need some distance to get up to speed, so that they have control over how fast they're so they can be as active as possible. They're going to get up on a plane, so they need a little bit of runway.
Is that the entrance to the channel?
It is.
marker is that?
That should be marker 13.
Let's see, we are at. So right now, we have 18 seconds prior to the FWC vessel is right about at channel marker 15 when there's 6 seconds left. So I want to go 6 plus 9 is 15, so let's get about, we're at 18. Yeah, so we're at 18 seconds. So 3 seconds in would be about 9 seconds prior to the vessel nearly colliding with channel marker 15.
Connection leading, testifying.
It is leaving, so
Okay. Okay, so right now, where are we at?
15 seconds.
Okay, so how many seconds until the vessel is nearly at the green marker?
9. Well, it gets close at 15, at 6 seconds. So it's just 9 seconds away.
Okay, so let's look at these last 9 seconds. Were there any obstructions between that vessel and the channel marker?
No.
Next, I'm playing S1001396. Drove view north FWC approach 15. And just to be really clear with this exhibit, where is the drone positioned?
Here, past the end of the channel, south end of the channel, and I've come down in elevation a little bit in altitude so that we can see the vessel and its relationship to the marker 15.
Time when it passes is about what's the time left on that?
7 seconds.
What's 7 plus 9?
16.
Okay, so let's go to 16 seconds out. What's the time left on the counter?
16.
Okay, so let's look at what happens over the next 9 seconds. And the final video, which for the record is S1001397. time left on the counter?
4 seconds.
And what's 4 plus 9?
4 plus 9 is 13.
You'd be doing a math class. Where's the counter at right now?
13 seconds.
Okay. Let's see what happens over this 9 seconds. Thank you. I have no other questions. Oh, because I don't know this. You can use yours.
Judge, if I could have access to the video exhibit
Sure.
from the clerk. I think it's State Exhibit 97. Good afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon.
My name is Howard Srebnick. We haven't spoken before, you and I?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So you were effectively the person documenting the events of the day that we've just observed on the video.
That's correct.
And you were doing that with technology, drone technology.
Correct.
Okay. Now, we'll get to it. I'm going to have Carlos Cruz from my office. He's setting us up, and we'll go to it in a minute, but just general observations. So you were out there on that day. Do you know what the tide was at the time? High tide, low tide, if you recall?
I don't.
Okay. And simple proposition, the higher the tide at a moment in time, the closer the marker is to the water surface, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So at high tide, that would bring let's say the green marker as close to the surface on any given day at its high tide.
Correct. Here in Miami, about 3 feet, give or take.
3 feet being
The tide, the height of
difference
the
between
tide.
high tide and low tide?
Right, so the high tide is be 3 feet, then you'll have ebb for about an hour, there about 50 and some odd minutes, and then back down to low tide, which will be about the same, then it returns, ebb again, and then high tide again.
So approximately a 3 feet difference between high tide and low tide?
Yes, for the bank.
So at high tide, that marker will appear 3 feet lower on the horizon than it would appear at low tide.
That's correct.
Okay. And here we were talking about a green marker.
Excuse me. Could we move the monitor just, because I don't know that the jurors can see the witness
Oh.
right now.
And if I could have, may I take this exhibit? Of course. This is State's Exhibit 96. And I'm going to try to do this so that you and I can work together. You know what, shall we have it? Is that okay, Judge? Sure. How about you and I have a conversation right here? I want to make sure everybody wants to see it from the state can see it. Actually, what I'll do is I'll turn around. And Judge, forgive me for giving you my back. Okay. And so this is an overview of that area? It is. Okay. Now, you were referring to 3 different markers, 13, 14, and 15. But actually, it's 13A, 14, and 15. Is that right?
It very well could be. I marked it as 13.
Okay. Because there actually is a marker 13 further to the north. A green marker 13 further to the north, isn't there?
I'm not familiar with that, but follow your better judgment. I don't know.
Okay. Well, when It was Lieutenant Thompson who was operating the vessel that day?
Yes.
And at the north end, so let's pretend we're looking north now, there would be a red marker and a green marker at the north end that are actually almost, let's say, at the same side, not say side by side, but the same, if you're driving your boat, there'd be a green marker on your left and a red marker at your right.
Correct.
That's when you enter the channel.
That's correct.
That's actually the only time in the channel where if you look to the right and you look to the left, you would actually see the markers at the same time.
Yes.
The other three markers are, excuse me, the other three markers are staggered.
That's correct.
Okay, they are not opposite each other.
That's correct.
Okay, so let's be clear. The markers 13A, 14, and 15 are not opposite each other.
No, they're staggered.
They are staggered.
Yes.
And you can see that stagger in this picture, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, what marker is this?
Well, which is now known as 13A.
Okay, what marker is that?
14.
And what's that?
That's 15.
Okay, now marker 15 is green, right?
Correct.
The water is sort of green in this picture.
It's
Okay. You would, of course, we're zoomed out. Not as easy to see the green as it is to see the red.
yes.
Correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And you recall that marker 15 is about 4 feet shorter than marker 13A.
As a result of the tide?
No, just as a result of the size of the pile.
That I don't know. I did not measure the pile.
Okay. You know that marker 15 is the shortest marker in the chain.
I would not know.
Okay. And so, we're going to look at some videos in a moment. As the vessel is traveling southbound, I'm pointing south?
Yes.
Okay, and forgive me because I said that was north earlier, but now I turned you around. When the vessel passes marker 13A, not 13, we're talking about 13A, there is no corresponding marker red to the right of 13A. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay. The next marker is hundreds of feet southbound on the intercoastal waterway, right?
Yes.
And then once the vessel gets to marker 14, which is red, the last green marker is hundreds of feet southbound from marker 14.
Yes.
Okay. And so when the vessel finally gets to marker 14, having passed marker 13A, there is no green marker to the operator's left when the operator passes marker 14. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, beyond marker 15, there are no other markers in this channel, correct? The channel is finished.
That's the channel ends.
This is wide open bay between marker 15 and Angelfish Creek.
Yes, I believe so.
Are there any other markers over the next hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of feet?
Not that I'm aware of.
So it's wide open bay from the time the vessel clears marker 15 until all the way to Angelfish Creek,
Correct.
right? Okay, so shall we look at some videos together?
Sure.
Okay.
Just can we go sidebar? I'm so sorry.
Numbers of the various exhibits, but maybe we'll start with, was that? That's right. This will be just one second. S1001-1397. Okay. So we're looking north towards marker 13A, right? You now know this is 13A?
Yes.
Right? You can hold it there. Pause? Great. Do you see that in this image we can actually see North of 13A is markers green 13 and red 12.
Yes.
Okay. So this channel, at least, are there any markers even further north?
I do not believe so.
Do you see that in the yonder there are 2 more markers well north? Can you see that? Hard to see, right? Are they not there? I can't tell. Not sure?
I don't think that's part of this channel.
Okay.
That channel is further to the other side. Yes, you can see those tiny dots.
Okay. We'll leave that aside for the moment. The relevant portions of this exercise include 5 markers, right? Green 13, red 12.
Yes.
Which are, I'm going to say side by side, but we understand it's not like you and I are side by side. It means that they're a distance apart, but we can sort of see each other as the boat goes through.
The same relative axis. Yes.
The same relative axis. Okay, thank you. And then when the vessel continues southbound in the channel, it would then pass green 13A, correct?
Yes.
Well before it passes red 14.
Correct.
So let's roll it for a second. Or a few seconds, I should say. Keep going. Okay, we can pause it now. Thank you. And so as we discussed before, this vessel has now cleared green marker 13A, but still has not cleared red marker 14.
Correct.
Okay. And to reorient everyone, this is marker 15, green 15, and south of that there are no more markers.
Correct.
Okay. So once the vessel clears 15, it's done with the channel.
The channel, then, yes.
Okay. So let's keep rolling. Stop it now. And let's see where we are on that timeline that we were looking at earlier. We're at 42 to 12. So 12 seconds left. Someone's going to have to do the math for me, but we'll roll it. We're at 12 now. So I can see the numbers. Pause. So we were more or less at the 9-second mark that the prosecutor was asking about?
Thereabouts.
Okay, and the operator of this vessel was holding a steady course throughout that entire last 9 seconds.
Yes.
No weaving,
No.
no going back and forth,
No.
no hot dogging,
No.
no thrill seeking,
No.
and well, the operator of this vessel obviously noticed that marker 15 was coming up and took an action to avoid it.
That's a pretty predominant feature, so yes.
Correct. And there's plenty of water depth on either side of that marker for a boat like that that has outboards that only takes up a foot or 2 of draft, correct?
Yes.
So that the operator of that motor vessel could choose either side of the marker and not run aground.
Correct.
Okay. Great. Let's go to the next video. And by the way, the operator of the vessel wouldn't need to wait until the last second. The operator could have done it at 9 seconds or 8, 7, 6, 5. At any point in time, just turn the wheel a little bit to the left, turn the wheel a little bit to the right, and avoid the marker altogether. Fair statement? Yes?
Yes.
And this view, hold it right there, is essentially the same approach, but with the drone a little bit lower.
Correct.
And this is S1001396.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, I'd like you to take a note. If you can tell from this image that the 3 green markers, 13, 13A, and 15, do not make a straight line.
From this angle, they do not appear to be straight line. That's correct.
From any angle.
Well, I couldn't say from any angle. I don't know if we were to move further to the left and down if they would be straight. I would suspect that they are not.
Right. Isn't it true that 13A actually is further west into the channel Because there's a shoal area just east of 13A.
I believe it is further towards.
Okay. And so, if we could roll the tape. And let me stop you right there, Carlos. So this vessel has now cleared 13A, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the only green marker left is 15, right?
Correct.
Okay. And as we discussed before, the vessel could travel further south because of it's a boat that can operate in shallower water. It can choose a path on either side of green 15, provided that there's no other boats in the way.
Correct.
Okay. Let's roll. And let's hit pause. So this operator was intentionally aiming for 15, knowing that it was going to avoid it at the last second, right?
Yes.
That was the design of this exercise.
Yes, we're replicating the GPS data.
Right.
Yes.
And so that the jury understands, replicating the GPS data, the operator had predetermined a course to take based on GPS information.
Yes.
And was going to try to replicate the path of that GPS information.
To the best of their ability. Yes.
Okay. And try to replicate the speed.
Yes.
Okay. That was calculated based on that GPS.
Yes.
And to the best of your knowledge, that's what this represents.
Yes.
But of course, you didn't do that exercise yourself.
No, I did the drawing.
Okay. You're the camera crew.
I'm the camera.
No disrespect, but like the camera there is observing us.
Same.
They don't plan it, you just document it.
That's it.
Okay, great. And so if we roll it, with a second and a half to go, not even, this operator was able to do a slight turn, avoid the mark.
Correct.
Okay. As the vessel was traveling in that path, at that speed, in these conditions, did it appear to be operating unsafely?
No.
The only thing that would create a problem is hitting the mark.
Correct.
At that speed, under these conditions, with this good lighting, safe operation.
Well, with the things that we did to ensure that, yes.
Well, what you did to make sure of it, of course, was that you had police boats to make sure there's no other traffic. And
Yes.
So absent another boat, if there's no boat in the way, no other boats in the channel, traveling as this vessel did, at that speed, in these conditions, perfectly safe, so long as you don't hit the channel marker.
So long as you don't hit the channel.
Now, do you have a view from the north side of the channel? Do we have a view in here? I think we do. Let's see if we go to the north approach, maybe? No, you north and south. Let's see if we have it. Okay. Let's try looking south, maybe? That's not a video, right? Forgive me. Well, let's try the drone following the vessel. Okay, let's hold it there. Okay, so let's orient ourselves. We're now on the north end of the channel.
Correct. It's just before the entrance.
I say we, but it's the drone.
The drone.
You're actually over here somewhere, right?
I'm on that vessel then, yes.
Okay.
Number how?
This is S1001384 drone following BWC vessel. So let's roll, and I think we're going to see the vessel come into the frame at the bottom right of our screen somewhere. And when we get to 13A, we're going to pause a moment. So you recall this is when I'm going to point now to the screen, a lighter color area. There's a shoal there, right?
Yes, there is.
Okay. Now, when a motor vessel encounters shallower water, a vessel, even without pushing the throttle, can gain speed. Right?
Yes, due to the shallowing of the water, yes.
So you could be going at 43 miles an hour this vessel, and when it encounters the shoal to its port side, without even touching the throttle, the boat can gain speed because of the shallow water next to it.
And if they're close enough, yes.
Okay? So let's roll it, and then let's stop it. Again, since now we're doing a different view, I'd like to have you point out, green marker 13A has no red marker anywhere to its starboard side.
That's correct.
There's no marker opposite green marker 13A.
Correct.
And as we keep rolling now, if the operator of the vessel thought this was the last green marker, Angelfish Creek is basically, this boat is heading out towards Angelfish Creek.
Yes, it's in that direction, yes.
But there's a marker in between,
Correct.
the green 15.
Correct.
Okay. Let's keep rolling. And now let's stop. The vessel is now passing red marker 14.
Yes.
We know that's on the starboard, the right side of the vessel.
Yes.
And if the operator looks to the left, there is no other green marker opposite marker 14. 15 happens to be well down the channel.
Yes.
Okay? And then if we roll, roughly 9 seconds later, it encounters marker 15.
Correct.
Thank you. I'm done with the video. Now, a motor vessel, you told the jury, has no brakes.
It does not.
Okay? Now, you also told the jury traveling at 47 miles per hour on a boat is different than in a car.
It is.
Right. A couple of differences. One is, typically in a car you're enclosed and you have a windshield and windows, right?
Yes.
Now, have you ever ridden in a car where the Jeep puts the windshield down and you take all the doors off?
No.
Okay, have you ever ridden a motorcycle?
Yes.
Okay. Riding a motorcycle feels a whole lot different than riding in a car.
Absolutely.
It's because you're encountering the force of the wind, the friction of the wind, right?
Yes, you're completely exposed. Yes.
And it feels faster maybe, but it's the same speed. 47 in a car and 47 in a motorcycle is the same thing.
Yes, it is.
Now, on a boat, you likewise typically don't have a windshield, although you could in this boat. The operator had a windshield, right?
Correct.
And a windshield helps keep that wind from blowing in your face.
Yes.
Okay. But a boat also has the resistance of the water to bring it to a stop. Meaning, a car, let's use a car. You take your foot off the gas, the car keeps rolling because of that fabulous invention we call the wheel.
Yes.
Right? And if you're in a car, you take your foot off the brake on the expressway, your car's going to keep going, although it's going to start to slow down. Right?
Yes.
But a boat's going to slow down a whole lot faster when you pull that throttle back, right? Because it's encountering all the resistance of water.
Yes.
Okay? So it doesn't have brakes, but it has two features. The resistance of the water, and once you bring the throttle into neutral, you can then put a boat into reverse.
Yes.
And that slows the boats down.
Also, yes.
In fact, that's how the big ships, when they come into port, that's how they slow themselves down, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it doesn't have a brake like a car does, but it has those two forces working to stop a boat.
Yes.
The friction of the water and pulling back the throttle, indeed putting it into reverse if you'd like to.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if I asked you about did I ask you about the heights of the marker?
You did?
And you didn't have any, you didn't do those measurements?
I didn't do any measurements on them.
If I could just have a moment, Your Honor?
when the images that were taken by the drone were then reproduced so we could have pictures to show the jury rather than just a jump drive, is there a little bit of a change in the coloring in that process if it's not a really super high quality printer?
Yes.
Is it all that difficult to see a green channel marker when you're on the water in Biscayne Bay?
No, not at all.
Does that green blend into the color of the water?
No. The water's only green because of the angle in which we're looking at it. If you're closer to the surface, it's more blue.
Although channels are designed to give pathways to vessels, are they necessarily going to be straight and perpendicular like a street could be?
No.
Why?
Well, when the channel is dredged, they take into account a shoal or rocks or wildlife and protected grasses and all those kinds of things.
What's a shoal?
A shoal is a raised area under the surface of the water. In this case, it's just the path for you to follow. It's, I think it's more like a walking path, right? It's crooked. It's not going to be straight up and down. It's not as straight as an arrow necessarily. They can be, but not always.
So would it be important when you're operating through a channel to pay attention, because you can't just expect that those channel markers are going to be exactly parallel to each other?
Yes.
Now, would you think that running a vessel into a channel marker at 47 miles per hour is a safe way to operate a vessel?
No.
Is the safest way to get, let's say, from Cutter Bank Channel to Angelfish Creek, is the safest way to get there literally going through channel marker 15?
Not physically going through channel marker 15, entering and exiting is. That's why the markers are there.
So you shouldn't be hitting the markers to get to Angelfish Creek. You should go around the markers. Is that fair to say?
Yes, it is.
Nothing else.
Witnesses excused. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a very full day. We're going to end now. Please put your notepads inside your envelopes.
Lauren, could we approach this on a scheduling matter? We don't need a court reporter.
I don't want to keep the jury open.
I think it just has to do with what time they come out.
Okay. Give me a minute so I can give you a good time when you're going to be here tomorrow, okay? So, here's the plan. We're going to ask you to be back tomorrow morning at 10:30. Okay? Back at 10:30. Same instruction. We're going to go to the jury room. And set the jury and we arrive, wait for Renee. We'll bring it down and be ready to have them in the courtroom. Please remember not to discuss this case with each other, anything about this case, or with anyone else. Please no independent research or investigation to try to gather any information to anyone on the evidence that's important presented to you. Okay? If you see any of us outside of the courtroom, we're going to continue to ignore you. So if you answer questions, we're not going to say hello. And basically, everyone in the courtroom has to be aware that you're a juror. They may not recognize you as one of our jurors, but where your juror badge is always well displayed in the courthouse and even in the area around the courthouse, especially during the lunch. Okay? If you see or hear anything that you think involves this case in the news, social media, newspaper, anything, please ignore it. Okay? Don't read it. Watch it. Don't listen to it. If you're not sure, ignore it. Okay? Don't wait to find out afterwards that had something to do with this case. And tomorrow, we're gonna have an earlier day. We're gonna finish somewhere around 4 o'clock, maybe even a few minutes before that. Okay? Just wanted to give you all that information. So you're gonna come in at 10:30. I would ask you to have breakfast. We would take our lunch break probably somewhere around 1 or so. It'll be a little bit of a later lunch break. And I'm not even sure why you're taking another break in the afternoon, because we're going to make it a shorter day. Okay? So you've got the schedule, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 10:30, and I'll see you then.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm going to ask everyone please just to wait a moment or two before you step outside, so we give the jury a little chance to get down the hallway. We're not going to do recess in a moment, but I just want to announce I'm going to have everyone here tomorrow to handle a couple of legal issues before the jury will all be by 10 o'clock. And Cindy, if you could please ask your witness as well, if you can be here at 10 o'clock, and handle whatever matters you need to handle.
Judge, one thing that might be helpful is if the defense can send over to us any and all clips that they would want to show to Lieutenant Thompson, I can forward that on to him, and maybe he can look at them tonight. That would be great, because that'll make tomorrow, I think, that much more smooth.
That'll be just fine. However you want to manage it between all of you, but we'll be here at 10 o'clock, and Julie will be back at 10:30. All right, if there's anything further tonight, I'll give you the order.
You're doing your